my Survivor, Balor. But I'm like, it's not, I don't play it anymore.
Hey, I want to touch on the pro wrestling craze too. Since they follow us.
Rock.
Can we tell JJ we got ass? Consider two of us suffer from that type of stuff and know what he's dealing with.
How hard did it hurt you to take those out the box?
Which one? The figures? No. Because they haven't been in the boxes since I bought them. No. And actually, I think, if I remember right, I got this one from Stan. The Bret Hart. Maybe the Pillman. The New Age Outlaw. Maybe one of those. So, the rest I bought.
Woo! That's the Road Warriors that I made. I had them in that Legends collector thing. But I've got the ones now I bought them and we had.
Oh, cool.
And what's funny is we went to Walmart in Roanoke one and we saw those up. And I didn't buy them. And I was like,
Well, I've got the Road Warriors 2000. I got a box of fucking wrestling figures in there. Big fucking box. A wrestling. Night Babe, all the WCW ones, all of them are still in there. Love you too, man.
hey, chop liver!
And Animal's head.
Good night, Katana.
Animal's head somehow or another came off.
Alright, well, let's go ahead and get
But I
this
do have, I have something.
Shuzo on the
I have
wheel.
the AWA.
Those are.
Yeah, I have the
I want those.
What's going on, everybody? It is Sunday night. It is 8:59. We are early. So, suck it, all y'all schedule people. Corner to Corner is live on the air. Spreaker.com. Go to the chat room at Spreaker.com/user/corner, the number 2 and corner. Love to hear your thoughts and input. You can always catch us up on Twitter. We've always got that up and running while the show is airing live. Interact with us at C2C Radio Show. Stan from Krypton at Glorious, the number 1, Rob Hefner, and STRCP21, Brian Taylor. Of course, the Doctor of Desire.
Professor, but he's going by Professor Digweed these days.
So, Rob, how you doing, man?
Doing good. This is lead up to WrestleMania. We're in that whole WWE creatives on cruise control until we get to WrestleMania. We're gonna have a bunch of SmackDowns and Raws that are just gonna be talking, and then no one's gonna do nothing. I will say that I am surprised that American Alpha lost their SmackDown titles.
That
We'll
sucks.
talk about that coming up.
I hate the Usos.
But to me, think about it. Anyway, we'll go back more later because I know we're just introducing, so I got to shut my mouth. But it is good to be back on the radio. Sorry I wasn't here last week. Family commitments, you know how that is.
And you got to keep talking because Brian's not in the room.
I know Brian has left the building, the room, and the problem is, fans, this damn room ain't but so big.
Oh, man.
We are coming to you from the Corner to Corner Radio Studios. Some people may call it the attic.
That is a glorious photo of one Maurice working on her fitness.
Well,
yes, you are, Maurice. Yes, you are. Yes, you is.
You know, she's betrothed. She's a married woman. You can't do that.
So, I got to give a shout out to a podcast I heard yesterday. Because you guys will get a kick out of this. They follow us on Twitter. They are our supporters.
Who's this?
The New Era Podcast.
No!
They broadcast for 24 hours. I have never in my life seen this done before. They interviewed a ton of different legends. We're talking Tracy Smothers, C.W. Anderson, Kenny Bolin from Jim Cornette, you know, in the Ohio Valley stuff. They talked to, I mean, it was ridiculous. But not only was it ridiculous, but it was incredibly entertaining, and I certainly would recommend them. As long as you're not listening to them instead of us, because that would really suck.
You can listen to them in addition to the original.
And we're friendly to other shows.
Yeah. We are the original triple threat
That's
of
correct.
Internet Wrestling Radio.
And we like to do it a little bit more our style anyway.
Yeah, because we are unconventional. But I will say this, that Brian is the purveyor of possessions.
Possessions.
And he will probably, this is when we needed to have our YouTube channel up.
True.
Because this is kind of like...
Live video feed.
I would almost say this is kind of like when they opened the WWE warehouse.
Hey, yo.
You know? Because Brian has been a collector for many years, like we all have.
Yes, definitely.
The difference is, you and I have moved around a few times.
And we've had losses.
And I will say there was at one time I had all of the classic wrestling figures out there.
From WWE?
The WWE classic wrestlers. But then I sold them.
Check the card, baby.
You gonna tell everyone
Nice
they can't see what
You
got.
go on in.
What we are looking at right now.
All right, guys and gals and ladies and germs.
Awesome collecting at its finest of wrestling memorabilia and figures.
I will point out in this corner right here. First, the cards are in immaculate condition.
Well done.
You know,
well done.
they are in immaculate condition. But if you look up here in the corner, which you all can't look up in there because it's radio, but
You
there
can't
is.
see it.
This shows you the era because this price tag, KB Toys.
Yep.
All right, but $5.99, $6. You imagine going into the store and buying a $6 wrestling figure today?
Yeah, you get it at the
Jesus.
dollar store, and it's like the one that doesn't move.
Yeah, the one that's like Mr. Bam Bam.
Road Warrior Hawk.
But we got
that.
a WCW TNT T-shirts and tattoos version of
Vampiro.
Vampiro.
Underground Zone.
I don't know why I didn't open it. I thought it was a cool... That's the only like WCW figure of that version that I never opened. I just thought it was so cool I couldn't
Trying to
open
see
it.
if the hair is real.
Yeah, it's actual...
I mean, not real, but
yeah, it's
obviously they're not going to sit in the factory going, "Hey, Vampiro, stand still."
that would be so awkward.
You know,
They were
like
gonna
we
make
used
an
to say
action
about
figure, by the way, we're going to put your hair on it.
like the George the Animal Steel one that they brought out. You remember that? The classic
Oh,
figure?
yeah. And
They
it had
brought-
like the freaky like
they
fur.
brought
Yeah,
out
that
a couple
was
of them that
creepy.
had the fur.
Yeah.
All right, and then I'll let Stan talk about this one because this one is probably the one we really shouldn't talk about
Or touch.
because this one is probably worth a lot of money, even in the
Yes.
with the
With the ding on
with
the
the dings on the bottom of the card. But the card is still in great condition. I feel like I'm having like he's trying to pawn them or something.
I mean, we're looking at the DTA Tour 2 from
Look, I haven't
Jack
touched this
Pacific.
thing.
Now, if you are
Just playing.
an avid collector like we are, when it comes to professional wrestling figures, you know that Jack's was the next level after Hasbro. Jack's made WWF's wrestling figures all the way until, what, 2008?
Until they went to Mattel.
Right. So this card, this figure that we're looking at right now, is the one and only Blue Blazer, complete with robe, mask, and what's that? It's a wrench because the Blue Blazer used a wrench. I don't know where
But
they
see,
came up with that.
Here's
But anyway,
the thing about this figure is it's very limited,
right?
because it came out shortly, either right before or right after Owen Hart's tragic
I
accident.
think it was right like before.
And so it quickly went gone. Like
Yes.
it was like once he had his accident, WWE has not spoken or talked or even gone through the threshold of Owen Hart.
Now here's the funny part. If you look at the mask, that is actually the mask of the Patriot, repainted in the form of the Blue Blazers mask. I just noticed this. Del Wilkes would be pissed.
Hey Dell, buy yourself some Blue Blazers. Yeah, you can see it too. You can actually see the stars up here on the top of his head.
Yeah, I just noticed that.
Wow.
I've never seen that before.
Well, you're hearing it here, kids.
That's awesome. So an Owen Hart Blue Blazer
Owen Hart, the
figure,
Blue Blazers, were rip off of the Patriot.
a.k.a. the Patriot.
Worth this, I would say, if Brian sold this today, it would probably get him at least 3
Oh,
figures.
let's look on eBay.
I think it'll probably at least net me a big $5.
You guys keep going through the collection. I'll look that one up on eBay.
But then you got, I was a big fan of these classic superstars when they came out. My issue was when they started coming out, they started with 4 in the first series. You know? Because this is what, series...
That was... Dude Love was series 2 or series 3?
Well, see, you could tell because they had 6. Alright? Limited quantity. Like, you know how hard it was to find Dude Love? But then in great fashion of the triple threat that we do.
Right.
You know, what happened was is we all started the collection together.
We did. We were all getting the same basic ones. And I remember because the first set and the second set, we were all on pace.
And then, somewhere, 2 people of the triple threat dropped out.
Yeah, because 2 people didn't have the money to keep up with this crazy-ass collection.
You think I had the money, too? I just felt like as a part of the group, I had to keep going.
I just assumed you begged, borrowed, and
stole. You lasted until, what, series 12 or something?
Something like that.
I think it was around 16.
Look how many came out with Hawk.
Oh,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
See, that was my thing. Is if you look, Dude Love. If Dude Love is series 2 or 3, 6, and then as it got popular, oh no, bitches, we gonna bring out like 105 in a series. Oh, but wait, there's more. Because not only are we gonna bring them out, but we're gonna do the LGN style,
right?
Limited editions, and then if you had the Hogan, because let's bring out 75 versions of Hogan.
Well, that's what they did back in the day.
You know, and then we got, because I had the one.
You can't beg, borrow, and steal to find a Hart Foundation set, but you'll find a Hogan on every daggone store.
You mean that Hart Foundation?
Why this? That is the Hart Foundation.
Anyway, we get off our soapbox. But we're looking now at Series 9. They brought out the Road Warriors and the AWA, NWA, the black with the dog collars, and they did what... And then, but you had Road Warrior Animal came out in the LOD 2000 kind of gimmick, but they were doing back then what they're doing now. You know, you see in the Elite series, like if you get the Hart Found, like looking across here at series.
That's series 1.
This is series 1 with Bret Hart. You know,
is it series 1?
Mm-hmm. That's first set.
Bret Hart. Then you've got, you've got. Where's glasses? But
they weren't on that one. They were on the next release for them.
But like you look at this, and if you wanted the Hart Foundation back in the day, you could buy the Hart Foundation set, right?
Yeah, but that didn't come out until
that was later.
That was later.
Yeah.
But then now, if you want the Hart Foundation Mattel, you got to spend $25,000 and buy both of them.
Yeah, and you gotta track them down on eBay or something. You can't buy them in the store.
Actually, Toys R Us in Fredericksburg. For those who are playing in the area.
Fredericksburg, Virginia.
Fredericksburg, Virginia. Fred
Vegas.
Had both Jim Neidhart and Bret Hart.
Really?
In there.
By the way, the Blue Blazer on eBay right now, loose, is $11 and $25.
Card.
You wait till he goes in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah. And he'll have...
But then we have...
Well, here's one selling for $50, so...
So, I mean, you have... Brian has the most of the full collection. Like, I do have bad feeling, bad
juju
about selling my collection, because also looking behind us, you've got, they brought out every series, they brought out a limited edition 3-pack.
Yep, and this is where it gets a little hairy, because this one I wanted to.
The Freebirds.
Yep.
You know?
That is probably the best looking set out of all of them.
Well, you got the Freebirds.
Freebirds was the first.
Edition.
I think.
You had a Road Warrior set.
Because on the back, you had the Freebirds, and then you had Hogan, Brutus Beefcake, Jimmy Hart.
Which actually, that set did look cool.
But I had this one, and
yep, it took a journey down to Bad Street.
Unfortunately, when we were looking to relocate, and you have 7 plastic tubs of wrestling figures, and you're paying a monthly storage bill, you got to go. Is it worth the...
Yeah, storage units are already a racket as it is.
And for the record, y'all are listening to a man that has Bad Street USA on CD.
And cassette.
The entire album.
And probably 8-track.
But then he also has the Hart Foundation 2-pack that came out back then. With the
Road Warriors 2-pack.
probably my favorite version of the WWF tag titles they've ever had is the old style.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the ones that they won from the Bulldogs.
Right.
Right, the little silver.
After they hit, Davey Boy with the megaphone.
Mm-hmm.
Then you realize, then you learn later on that they're all family anyway, except Jimmy Hart. Jimmy Hart's the odd man out in the whole damn thing.
Yeah, the one guy with Hart as his last name, and he's actually not a Hart.
The Scott Hall NWO.
Pretty slick looking, and of course...
and this is after WWE bought out
WCW.
Yeah.
WCW.
That was when the NWA came to WWE.
Yeah,
and it came with a cooler.
Yeah.
Came with a cooler. It's from the New World Order Back and Bad. It's Jack's Pacific World, WWE. The card's in good condition. Got some edge around, wear and tear around the edges, but you're going to have that in any card.
Yep.
The only ones you're not going to have any wearing is the ones that are still in the factory.
Yeah, exactly.
But look at it. It came, the series was Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, Hogan, but then they had two different versions of ring gear and then street gear.
Right.
And Brian has the street gear.
I want the other two, the Hogan and Nash and street gear.
Maybe so if you're listening and you have Hogan and street gear and Nash and street gear from the Jack's Pacific New World Order set, send them on over to Brian as a perk for listening to our show.
The WCW Toy Biz set where the Hall and Nash are from over here.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm missing but maybe 4, 3, and they were international figures that I had in my hand one time, and I didn't buy them. I have all the rest of them.
Those were my favorite wrestling figures that came out. I liked the Hasbro because those were the first ones that I owned, but the WCW Toy Biz ones were the most articulate. They were fully posable, and I'm not going to lie, they were fun to play with.
Which one are you talking about?
I have these. I have the Rey Mysterio set.
Mm-hmm.
I think Sting had a set, a 4-pack.
Yeah,
I think Ray had a 6-pack.
Really? Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah.
I got at home now. My kids play with, the Lex Luger.
Oh, okay.
And the Hogan that came in that set, the Hollywood Hogan.
Yep.
And then DDP came in this set. I got DDP. But guys, this is what we like about our show. We like this because we talk about the biz all the time.
Yep.
Our next show. What's next week? WrestleMania.
Next week is indeed WrestleMania, sir.
Mania. There you go, Eddie. We're
on Spreaker.
Well, I'm trying to save Eddie some trouble.
Okay.
Because
you're right.
Eddie has not had a good week.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to say, Eddie, when you add this on, you don't have to bleep out the mother.
All right, so ladies and
That's a whole bunch of shit.
No. But I think I dropped the B word earlier.
Son of them. You can say bitch. You just can't say shit.
So Brian has now taken out the the tub of toys.
There's the giant.
Because the best part about it, I wish we had...
and the neck brace from when Nash dropped him on his neck. Mm-hmm. I remember that powerbomb.
See, we're going to have to do a YouTube video.
On heat.
Guys,
I read a rumor that there was a Big T Harlem Heat figure that was never released, but there was a prototype for.
Oh, what?
Remember Tony Norris, Ahmed Johnson, when he was part of Harlem Heat back in the day? There was a rumor that they made a figure for him, but we never got it because it was only...
I wonder if Ahmed Johnson gets any royalties out of... I was watching Small Soldiers the other day with my son. Where the toys come alive.
We're ignoring Brian. He's
trying
to show us.
That looks like T.J. Perkins. Who's that?
Rey Mysterio.
No, that's John Johnson. Champion of South Regional Wrestling. Clint Lansky over here.
Goddamn Billy Kidman.
Look at that. Man, look how cool the detail is on those.
See, that is...
That's a signature series Shawn Michaels.
No.
Yeah, it's on his leg, isn't it?
Yep. Signature series Shawn Michaels. Jax. This is the Jax. This is the later of Jax, where I actually liked them.
The bone crushing, they were like rubber, and
that Bret Hart there is like those were when wrestling figures started to be fun again for me anyway.
Yeah.
I never was a fan of the Hasbro. I know you were.
I liked them just because they were like the first set. And I remember when I first got them, my parents got me the ring, and they got me the complete first set, except for Jake Roberts. I don't know why.
Because see, my first sets were the...
Lexi over there.
I remember when my grandmother would come to town, she would always buy us toys.
Yeah.
And for
No!
Conan has not only shown up on Impact, he's now come out of the storage room.
Luna.
Son. But see, I had the LGNs.
Oh, yeah.
Growing
Those
up.
were awesome. They're still
So-
Shamrock. That's cool.
I had the LGNs, and I had almost all the first run.
A construction worker.
They actually have an app, an LGN Wrestling Classic app, where you can go on and, like...
That's got the smoking skull belt.
Yes, it does.
Look at that. I'm constantly just going, man, that's so cool.
But you look at the articulation, and it's like,
Yeah.
one thing I hated about Jax for a period of time was the body was great, but then the head. It's like they took a G.I. Joe's head and were like, all right, put it on a big old massive body. But
Does somebody want to explain to me why Rey Mysterio's head extends?
Yeah, remember that was he came with Kevin Nash because
Rick
Kevin
what?
Nash used to throw him around the ring all the time.
Rick Steiner?
oh, I do have that. I do have that Rey Mysterio somewhere, though. The one that's not
Yeah,
officially
the
Rey
wobbly.
Mysterio.
That Sting was awesome.
Oh, see.
Undertaker?
But
Hey,
just diving
referee.
through.
We're gonna do a YouTube special.
Bam,
We will.
We're gonna do a YouTube video,
Nico.
and it's not gonna be a very good crime prevention
Disco.
thing
Pointing to his crotch.
because we're gonna do a YouTube video of Brian and his wrestling collection.
That's awesome.
Because then we could go do one of the G.I. Joes in the other room.
Oh, Miss Elizabeth.
And her damn fishnets.
Why'd you quit touching her like that, man?
How come her legs are broke?
Different. Jericho.
A lion tamer, Chris Jericho. Oh, do you have the Executioner Bret Hart?
Let's see.
That was where he
There's
came with like
goddamn-
the trench coat and the Tommy gun.
Yes.
There's Booker T. He got lazy legs, man.
Where did I put him?
But this is all, it's going down memory lane. Like, if you come to my house, we got
Talking about
somewhere, I've got...
Nice.
I'm telling you, dude, I'm only missing
Look,
like
and it's gray pinstripe. That's cool.
I'm only missing like 4. And
Stan was a Bret Hart mark from the way back.
Oh, yeah. Stone Cold Bear.
Another fucking Goldberg. Another Austin.
There you go, Eddie. I'm trying not to, but...
That's bullshit,
X-Pac.
Brian.
Was that X-Pac before porn?
Fable.
Why she got her mouth open?
Why I got 2 of them?
Why she got her mouth open, Brian?
I don't know. It's Sable.
Did you mold her that way?
Well, look, they're different. Look,
What?
one's in a bikini briefs,
Right?
and one's in shorts.
Maybe that's why you have 2. Because they're variants. Well done!
Very interesting.
For the value, because they lay loose.
Different macho.
Oh, that one was
You
cool.
want Shawn Michaels out here, you want to put him back in the box.
That was probably one of the better Bret Hart figures that was made.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I liked it, because Toy Biz, you could... the
Bring on
later
that one.
editions, that one used
I
to
didn't
annoy
like
me,
that
because
one.
like all he could do is the bang. Bang! Okay, great.
He's talking about the DDP people, since
Yeah.
you all don't have video and can't see Stan
Yeah,
waving
you
his
can't
arms
see
like
me
an
doing the
idiot.
bang symbol.
And something you probably won't see.
Oh, that came from the Four Horsemen set. Yeah, that's a Chris Benoit. He's got D. Malenko, Chris Benoit. It was Flair.
Flair.
Who was the fourth in that
Was
set?
it Mongo?
Was it? Was there a Mongo figure?
Let's see. There's Benoit.
Because I've got some Benoit figures from the WWE had put out.
Malenko.
Because believe it or not, they did put some out.
Yep.
You got some what?
Benoit figures.
Hey, you guys remember WrestleMania 20, where Shawn Michaels,
there's
Triple
Mongo.
H, and some mystery guy all wrestled?
There's Mongo.
Oh, they did. It was Mongo. Yeah. I saw a picture of Mongo. not so long ago.
Mongo. The one that probably should have never been in the four. Like, why did he get in there?
Wait, now,
I
okay.
actually liked
If
Mongo.
you had to choose
I actually
between
liked Mongo.
Paul Roma and Steve Mongo McMichael, who would you have picked?
Okay, I'd go on Mongo.
Okay, see?
Because Paul Roma's a putz.
Yeah, he is a class. The WCW World
See
title.
that? I got one of these at home.
That is actually nice. He's kept this stuff in good condition. I'm
See that?
impressed.
Like, you need to put this on that flare you got over there.
Yes, sir. Give him that belt. It's where it belongs.
And
What's
that
the matter with you,
headless
sir?
hawk.
Oh, that's Animal. Headless Animal.
He must have fought Demolition because they hit him with the decapitator.
In 5 seconds.
Even got some.
You got the
Yo,
Hot Wheels cars
cars.
that they had.
Huh?
That's the WCW cars they had. They used to sell those at Spencer's. I remember that.
Well, I got
a couple.
state police cars.
My kids trashed them.
If you want to see a car collection, an honest-to-God state police and police car collection, Rob had the best one I had ever seen. He had cars from all over the country. You had, at one point, you had West Virginia, you had California, you had Virginia, you had different counties that you bought from I remember going to the hobby shops with you, looking for those cars. And I didn't know a damn thing about hobby shop stuff. Like, as far as, like, models, I knew a little bit about that.
My dad hated it because my dad actually bought them for his train sets, but...
Yeah, they got used.
He'd be like, damn it!
Here we are going down memory lane. We're almost 40, but we're just screwing around going through memory lane.
I'm gonna throw back in here.
Brian's actually almost 60.
I was gonna make Scott Hall. I was gonna give Scott Hall something he never got. Sorry, I touched
Brian's losing it. He's losing it.
There's a reason why in Brian's toy room there's a knife.
Now, if you're listening live tonight, we won't be taking any breaks.
He will cut me.
We're not necessarily worried about that. When we're broadcasting from Spreaker, of course, Eddie will chime them in where they're needed. Eddie, you know the drill. You can cut them where you got to.
But if you would like to personally call us and give us money to have you as a sponsor, we will take a break and talk about your company.
Absolutely.
Just like here. Corner to Corner proudly presents. Or we... Corner to Corner loves, when we're not on the air, we love to use bleep.
What?
Or when Stan's alone and the time is dark, he uses
I think you do.
I'm gonna keep my.
That's
I'm
pretty
gonna keep all.
You just got...
Sweet!
Brian always hooks Stan up from the toy merchandise.
Wait a minute. For the record, that's never happened before that I can recall.
He even hooked up my kids when they were here once.
Now
He
that
got
I
two
remember.
G.I. Joes and he's like, here. I'm like, Brian has never
Dude, it's
given me a
still
toy
the
out of his
action.
closet collection.
Cool.
Oh, the
yeah,
water bottle. The
plastic
used
bottle.
Dasani water bottle. It's been
Wait,
up here
is that
for...
urine in there? Oh,
It's been up here since...
That's why you don't get nothing. You throw it away.
You gotta cherish it, Rob. You gotta love
You know what I think about this?
Not the Medusa garbage can.
All right. Y'all ready?
So let's kind of dive into the week that was, and then of course we are going to do our WrestleMania predictions. We'll pull up the entire card.
Let's just knock the other one out the way.
Did you say that? Predictions.
Let's just knock the other one out the way.
All right, so everybody knows that we did a video on Loot Crate, the WWE Slam Crate.
Yeah, of course.
Well, Brian, the purveyor of possessions...
Purveyor of possessions. I like that. The paragon of the purveyor of possessions.
Here in the fortress of... I can't even do it. What
Here
should
at
we call
the precipice.
The precipice of possessions.
So we branched out.
For the
We
plebeians
talked
at home.
about it. And we finally broke down and did it.
We've done
This we, as in he.
We subscribed to Pro Wrestling Crate.
Pro Wrestling
Great.
And this particular box is the best of the indies. And we'll go through pretty quick. Because y'all can't see it. So,
We'll post photos up on the Facebook page or something. We'll do that.
yeah. But there's a nice pin of Candace and Joey. Where Candace is all bloody-fied. Now, I don't know what's up with all these pins and all these crates, but y'all are killing me.
Now, the championship belt ones from the slam crates we get from WWE, I like those.
Well, yeah. I don't.
But like
I don't
this
mind
pin, like of the, I don't get it. I'm not.
it. Yeah,
And that's blood, right?
Yeah, there's supposed to be blood
That's
on her.
freaking nasty.
I mean, if you look at it, it's real blood.
You do it.
No.
I did the last one. You did. It'll be real blood if you lick the wrong side.
It dug on my tongue.
So, a bonus disc
It's a tongue tattoo.
of the Wrestling Road Diaries, Volume 3.
Ooh, wow, cool.
Colt Cabana and Daniel Bryan. I guess he was Bryan Danielson that time. And Sal
If that is his
Renaro. So, I haven't watched it yet. Nice little sticker. I like stickers.
Oh, that's cool.
Stickers
This
are
bonus
cool.
disc features over an hour of deleted scenes from the Wrestling Road Diaries.
Mm-hmm. So, it's kind of like,
And
what's
it's
the
exclusive.
WWE show? Mm-hmm. What's the WWE show? Ride Along?
Yes.
So, it's kind of like that.
Yeah.
Chris Hero. Never
That's
had
a
me an
wristband,
armband,
right?
yeah.
That's
A
pretty
little
cool.
wristband.
Yeah.
Currently known as...
Cassius Ohno.
Oh, no. Yes. Who, at the next TakeOver, I forget who he's wrestling, is going to have a match. Loser leaves NXT.
Oh, yeah, that's him and Elias Sampson.
So
That's this Wednesday.
Oh, is it Wednesday?
Yeah, and then TakeOver is
Saturday.
Saturday.
Because
Friday night's Hall of Fame.
Right. So I am thinking
quality, aren't
that Ono will go up to the main roster.
I'm not going to spoil it.
Well,
I
don't
already know
spoil it.
I already know what happens. I was one of those nosy idiot fans, the snarky fan that wanted to know the results.
You're killing me.
And we don't need to tell them about that part because nobody cares about that guy.
What? No, this is the coolest thing. This is cool. A little and this is actually the first of the series, I believe. A little micro brawler.
I got the solution for that one, buddy.
No.
Right here. It's
Colt,
called a hammer.
Colt Cabana.
Colt Boom Boom Cabana.
The micro brawler. It brought a smile to my face when I saw it. I thought it was cool.
All joking aside, I don't know if there's an independent wrestler out there that has his presence felt like Colt Cabana. So
I'm down
I give
with
him
it.
credit for
I'm
it,
down
and you know I do joke about not being a fan, but no, it's pretty good stuff.
Yes. Now we're going in an order that I like the items. So
Okay.
it just happened to work out that way. Next is a nice box of Dominoes
Not pizza.
This is a
from
Cliff Compton.
Cliff Compton's Domino set,
Pretty cool.
formerly Domino,
Of Deuce and Domino.
right?
Or-
WWE,
Deuce and
yeah,
Domino?
Deuce
Yeah.
and Domino. Mm-hmm. So that's a pretty cool set.
Very nice. Very nice. We like.
Next comes
Now this one is awesome. I may have marked out a tad for this.
another Kenny Omega Mega Man version
Pretty damn cool.
shirt.
But
So
why
that-
is it a severed head?
I guess
It's
he,
got like a
I guess he cut Mega Man head off. I don't know.
I kill him,
Need a
man.
cleaner.
Yeah, maybe he's
Somebody
gonna
needs to clean that
it
up.
Maybe he's gonna clean that up. That's a nice T-shirt.
That is pretty awesome.
And then last but not least,
There again, another guy that's got his presence out there.
oh,
Like
Kenny.
crazy.
Kenny's presence, the Young Bucks' presence, is like Austin
Yeah,
in the 90s.
I would agree.
They may not make as much money, but you can't hardly go too often without seeing something about them.
Well, I will say that the Bucks and Omega and Cody Rhodes, to a degree, are doing what the guys would if they would have done it back in the day. You know, that's kind of what they used to do.
Mm-hmm.
They're getting their name out. They're doing exactly what WWE does with people, but doing it on their own.
Right, right.
They're getting the merch out there. They're putting themselves out there. They're all this stuff.
And that's the way to be successful in independent wrestling right now, and that is to create your brand, make it popular, and market the hell out of it.
Yes.
So, Brian,
Last but not least,
Yes. let's talk about
the item I was
'cause their
crossing
mama
my
wants you to talk
fingers
about it.
for. Yes. Mama Buck.
That's a little creepy, by the way. Quit stalking our friend.
Hey. She likes me.
So, if you
like
and her
Is she hot?
were to become a
No, she's married.
thing,
They're married.
but would they have to call you
All I can do
Daddy Buck?
is thumbs up her. You know what I'm saying? Thumbs up for the
Would you be
post. For the retweet of the
Would you
tweet.
be a buck and buck?
Mother Buck!
Ow.
Stop all this bucking around.
If only I had my
you.
glove. If I had my glove, I'd smack both of you. How dare y'all besmirch her name?
2 bucks
Oh.
up.
But it's
off.
a.
I don't give a buck.
See,
Buck the bucking bucker.
that's why the Bucks don't like y'all. A certified
Buck, you too sweet.
certified picture from both of the Young Bucks.
Pretty awesome.
Nick and Matt.
But if you were to ask the Hardy family, they could go buck themselves.
Well,
Oh, hey!
I mean, are the
'Cause
Hardys
they
even
would be-
allowed to use their name right now? Oh.
Delete.
Hey, don't
Obsolete!
bring Impact on us like that.
Oh, they ain't got enough money for
I
that.
dare them to send us a cease and desist.
Don't bring.
Because you know what'd be awesome? That means they're listening.
Yeah. Them and all 5 people that actually support them.
Final deletion.
Well, they probably have some nerd that's done come up with a program so every time delete is mentioned on the internet, they get notified. This cease and desist letter, send it.
So they're getting a lot of from Congress, you know.
So anyway, thanks to Pro Wrestling Crate by Pro Wrestling Tees, owned by 1 Hour Tees.
What was the cost of that?
$22.
Okay, so that means you had
$24.
You had $25 maybe, so you're looking at a T-shirt, which is normally what, $25?
Mm-hmm.
The bonus disc for the DVD, normally on like high spots, probably about $11.
Mm-hmm.
The autograph photo.
The autograph at least is $25.
Yeah, depending on where you go and how you get it.
Right. Well, if you get it from the Young Bucks merch,
he doesn't see it when we all do the thumbs up.
It's about $25.
The Candice and Joey pin, even that's probably about $7 or $8.
Yeah.
So when you look at the value of this, just like the Slam crates, I mean, you're getting your money's worth. So.
Well, the other thing
kind of disappointed me last time. I won't get you wrong. Like the fanny pack was neat at first, but then you're like, what the fuck are you gonna do with it?
Oh man.
Yeah, but to me, the fanny pack was enough. Me personally,
the fanny pack was cool in the T-shirts. I get. Because I'm a T-shirt guy.
I like the T-shirts, right?
Right. So, I mean, the Seth Rollins one, I only have one other. AJ Styles, that was my first AJ Styles shirt.
I just wish it was not the one that's like you put it on, it's like, hello.
It's a little bit snug. No, but...
They should warn you. They should put an asterisk. All right, this month you might want to get a bigger one.
But, like, the one that's coming out this month, I'm super excited about. Or next month. And that's...
Balor.
The Demon! Oh! And that'll be my first Finn Balor shirt, so I'm pretty pumped about that.
Sorry, we didn't say spoiler.
Well, I mean, it's all over the net. It's not necessarily a
it's
spoiler anymore.
Also, the thing about Pro Wrestling Crate,
yep,
you have different tiers.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
You have a singles tier, which gets you the 1 T-shirt.
Right, and that's what
a tag team, right, which gets you 2. This time it would have been Ricochet.
That's fucking amazing.
And Omega. And then you have a triple threat, which would have got you the Marty Scurll, Ricochet, and
not
Omega.
the villain.
Yeah, the
Marty
villain.
Scurll is pretty fun.
You'd have gotten that shirt.
Did
it show you what the shirt looked like?
I definitely got it.
No, it just shows you a picture of...
Because we'd have given you that. I'd taken Ricochet. You could have had...
I'd be okay with that. I'm cool with
I really don't think that's the way we slice this pie, gentlemen.
Oh, no, it goes in thirds. Triple threat, sir.
Oh, so...
Because what you buy is ours. And what we buy
what's mine
is
mine.
ours.
What yours is...
Can I bring your title?
Hey, I got to put them somewhere.
Right here. Just the NWA one. The world title. We will put it... We will put it up on the wall.
I'm fine with it.
Oh, look at that. Oh, look. He's like, oh, shit.
He's freaking out.
He said yes.
No. Because actually, this is going to be on my picture wall, so we'll put it
right there on the door.
On the door.
Actually, that'll hold
so, right there. Yeah.
We can do that. I'm cool with that.
I say what you do is you put the pictures up this
Rob,
wall.
that's why he gets the Shawn Michaels autograph, and you don't get nothing.
I think
I don't know how many belts you want.
I mean, you could at least just give me a brown leather belt and throw it up there. Say, I got a belt.
Here's my John Brown belt. Bam!
We could trade. I got a washer and a dime sitting right here that I will trade
He's got
you.
a wedding band I'll give you.
You can trade up. Which one?
What's sitting over there in that corner?
That's the Christmas gift. That's not a trade. That's Christmas. I will trade you those for your brown belt.
We treat all friends right.
My belt is black, sir.
Hey. Why does it got to be black?
Oh,
no,
Rob.
we're not even going there. We're not even doing that. I ain't getting pulled up on no site about nothing.
Wait a minute. For the record, that was a joke. I was kidding. You can send all hate mail to Glorious One.
No, you can't.
Let's talk about
that shit faster than I deleted my Instagram.
Let's talk about some serious stuff.
Serious stuff.
First off,
do we have to start the Full House music?
Not yet, but maybe the Danny Tanner heart to heart. But no, first off, Corner to Corner wants to send their thoughts and prayers out to one Jim Ross. Mr. Jim Ross suffered the loss of his wife this past week, who tragically was hit by a car when she was riding her Vespa. It's a scooter, right? Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, she didn't have a helmet on. She went into surgery. She had swelling on the brain, and she was being kept alive by life support. Ultimately, they made the decision to pull the plug because they felt it was the most humane thing to do. And in those situations, I tend to agree. And that's got to be the toughest decision a man can make to decide what to do with.
Well, if you read the thing he wrote about it,
right?
And I will say that in the time he wrote it, what he had to been going through.
I mean, I can't imagine. I can't fathom.
To sit down and put the letters and the words out there.
Right, right.
To say how, she stood by him during all his bouts of Bell's palsy and facial paralysis, and she stayed by him during all his down lows and stuff, and that she never wavered. She never left him. She was the constant. And he even said...
Sorry.
He even said that if she was wearing a helmet, then that would have probably saved her life, and she wouldn't have the issues.
Absolutely.
But we never know when our time's coming. And I will say that as a fan of wrestling, for as long as I've been a fan of wrestling, Jim Ross, going back, he transcends decades. He transcends brands. Because he was there in the NWA days.
Yeah.
The early WCW days.
Deep South.
He was there in the territory days.
Yep.
He was there in WWE. Remember his famous thing, pipe bomb, they said when he came out going, my first day on the job and they put me in a goddamn toga.
I do remember that.
Yeah. And, but yeah, it's just, for that to happen, I still listen to his podcast regularly, to get his side of what he would do in the business.
Right.
And I have to give him really a lot of credit, is he shares what he would do, but then he does the disclaimer of, I'm not in the business anymore.
Right. And I think a lot of people forget that he's entitled to his opinion.
Well, I also think that he didn't get the send-off he should have from WWE. And I think WWE needs to put him in the Hall of Fame.
He is.
He is, okay. Well, I think WWE needs to do more with him.
I agree.
Because to have a guy that ran your company and did what he did for so long, and then blame him for what a wrestler did,
Yeah, I mean, to consider Jim Ross's talent, you have to look at it on multiple fronts. From a business standpoint, Jim Ross is a phenomenal booker and agent for the boys, for the guys, for the performers. But as a commentator, just like Rob said, I mean, transcends eras. You talk about the Ric Flair versus Sting match at the Great American Bash, where Sting finally wins the title. You talk about Steve Austin winning the WWF title after battling everything obstacle-wise that he had to deal with in his career after getting fired from WCW, going through ECW, surviving the Ringmaster, and becoming champion.
Ringmaster.
But even with him calling, the iconic Mick Foley match coming off the cell. Mm-hmm. My God, he's dead!
Right. They've killed him. I remember that, yeah. One of the... We were just talking about it before we went on the air. There are certain people that when they pass away, it's going to be like heart-wrenching. It's going to be like a dagger to the heart. When Jim Ross passes, it's going to be like you're losing an era. I mean, it's literally the end of an era in that regard.
To me, there's 3 announcers that I could just sit and listen to all day long, call matches.
Right.
And knowing that they would call them with such fervor and gusto and put their hearts into it. Mm-hmm. And that's Gordon Soley, Gorilla Monsoon, and Jim Ross. And any announcer coming up should pay attention to them 3 and learn from them.
I'd like to see, or you can't anymore, but I would have loved to have seen today, Gorilla Monsoon, Jim Ross, and Tony Schiavone.
That actually would have been a pretty good mix. Monsoon was he was color commentator, but he wasn't like Bobby Heenan style. But you had Tony Schiavone that was excited, not necessarily innovative, but a little over the top emotion wise. Jim Ross knew the history of each guy. He knew the background, and that That would have been actually a really good mix.
I mean, Gorilla Monsoon had the technical. You know how much I learned about body parts from Gorilla Monsoon?
The proboscis.
You know, I learned where the gluteus maximus was. You know, I didn't learn that in health class.
I didn't know what a sternum was
You know, like,
but Gorilla Monsoon taught us health. Thank you, Gorilla.
and then his thing with Bobby the Brain.
Oh,
I mean,
my
him
God.
just
Will
back
you
and forth.
stop?
Prime time wrestling.
Will you be serious?
That's available on the network for $9.99.
That's right. WWEnetwork.com. So, I mean, definitely, we are heartbroken for Jim Ross to have to make that ridiculously crazy, difficult decision that he had to make. Still planning on making his bookings this week in Orlando. I gotta respect the strength of a person that can do that. He certainly doesn't have to. It's not like the guy's hurting for money, but he's gonna do it because he's honoring his bookings and making sure that he lives up to what he said he's gonna do. So,
well, he knows where it's like anybody in the entertainment business.
right.
You know, being in the entertainment business, you know, the show must go on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, you know, if something happens, like I read today,
Right.
that a man had an elderly man had an unfortunate incident at one of the WWE live events, and while EMTs were working on him, the show went on.
Yeah.
You know, and some people were saying how wrong that was and how cruel that was. But when you think about it on another side, do you at that moment for that family, do you really need the entire arena looking at you?
Right.
Wondering what's going on?
Yeah.
Or do you say, all right, let's do this over here.
And keep everyone distracted.
Right.
They keep it, yeah.
And they do what they got to do.
That's the toughest part about any kind of show business at all. I mean, you want to respect your audience, but you also know that for a majority of that crowd, they're coming for an escape of one type or another. So you have to make the ultimate decision. Like when Owen Hart died, they made the decision to finish the show. Because while there could have been countless fans, and I know for us, a lot of fans were questioning if it was a work or if it was real. We weren't. I think we were all pretty convinced that he was truly gone, but maybe we weren't. I don't know. I don't remember that night, but so well. I remember my father calling me in the middle of the night after I got home from watching the pay-per-view, asking me if it was a storyline. I do remember that very well. But anyway, I mean, ultimately you have to make the call. Are you going to continue the show? Are you going to stop and give attention to it? And in that situation, really, you can't, because it's not helpful to that family. I am sorry that happened.
But in the eyes of, Jim Ross,
right.
Also for him, it would be an escape. Because when he goes home, he has to deal with everything.
And I think that anybody who's lost a family member, and unfortunately within the past year, we've all seen that kind of come about. Even Eddie Lane with his dad. You make the ultimate decision. You're either going to sit home and kind of cope with it on your own, or you're going to do something. You're going to get busy and try to busy your mind a little bit. And I think I understand it. I don't think anybody would have questioned him or doubted him for saying, you know what, I'm going to take some months off and grieve. And maybe he still will do that. Maybe he's just taking care of his bookings that he already had.
Maybe, yeah, and that's the thing. It's just he's a businessman. He's always been a businessman.
Yeah.
And for those who lose somebody, it's those times when you're alone and you're back home and and there's nothing going on and there's nothing to keep your mind busy. Mm-hmm. But anyway, Jim Ross, we're with you.
Absolutely. So we go from a really tough story to one that actually really has me pissed off. And that's about Mauro Ranallo.
Pissed off!
How?
At least you're not pissed on. That would be rude.
That would be gross. And stinky. It would smell. So recently there was an interview on Bring It to the Table. That's Peter Rosenberg's special on the network. JBL talks about how he can't stand how Mauro Ranallo is I guess we'll say it, a mark for himself on Twitter. I personally don't buy into that crap. I think Mauro is the most respected announcer they have in that broadcast booth, with the exception of maybe Corey Graves. And I also felt like the attack on him was unwarranted, because Mauro hasn't said squat about anybody and does his job. He does a really good job at it. I think he's probably the closest we'll get to a person that could possibly fill Jim Ross's shoes, color commentary wise. But what bothers me the most about this is JBL starts making fun of him, talking about how he said he missed the show and maybe he was sick and blah, 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 and kind of laughs it off like it's not a big deal. We find out through, and I'm sure Mauro wouldn't necessarily leak this out there, but we find out through dirt sheets this week, through friends of Mauro Ranallo, that they had advised that, hey, Mauro does battle with depression, and it's something that he battles on a daily basis. And when that happens, it's a situation where he takes time to get himself better, and then he comes back. And that's what they advised, that he would be back very soon. He was just resting up, which you respect. From a lot of levels, personally, I've been dealing with depression for years, probably since about 2009, which, if you go back through the archives for Corner to Corner, you can actually find an edition where I talked about that. I won't talk about it here. But the bottom line is, depression is a very real disease, and people face it and deal with it and fight it every single day, whether it's with medication, therapy, both. There are some that fight it so hard that they ultimately end up giving up and choose in my opinion, the wrong option. Not necessarily, I'm not telling people what to do, but I think it's the wrong option. Anyway, Mauro Ranallo comments earlier this week that, he's been advised by his doctor, basically, to stay off social media and to rest up, and he'll be back soon. And he says he thanks everyone from the bottom of his heart. And I got to tell you, it really pisses me off that even as a character, that John Bradshaw Layfield would feel that it's appropriate to talk trash about somebody who is literally battling something that JBL has no concept of. And it's evident he has no concept of it, because the way the guy carries himself both on television and off, he's a jackass. And I really lost respect for him when he made those comments publicly, because how do you do that? Even if it's a work, and I could care less if it is, because that's just not something you work about. It's kind of like if I knew that my opponent's son had Down syndrome and made fun of his son. Mm-hmm. That's just, you don't go there. There's certain things you just don't touch.
And I think like the person that made fun of Kevin Owens.
Yes, for his autistic son, right, when he wins the Universal title. Well, and we gave that guy an earful, too.
I think one of the things that people don't realize with Mauro Ranallo is he is your new generation announcer.
Right.
Because, we talked about how Jim Ross and all them and the constant professionalism and everything. But Mauro Ranallo, the reason he reaches people is because he's reaching them at their level of today.
Yeah. And he's not dressing it up.
Social media is your outlet today. So he's connecting to those fans in a positive, professional social media experience. Yeah. And if you have issues and you're dealing with things, everybody has something they're dealing with.
Right.
It's just, are you going to deal with it in a constructive manner, or are you going to deal with it in a destructive manner?
Right.
And we hear so many stories of wrestlers back in the day and today who deal with their demons with alcohol and pills and other ways, and it usually ends up with us doing a bell salute saying, wow, young person gone too soon. But for somebody to be that in tune to themselves and know, you know what, maybe the best thing I can do is take a step back and get myself together before I go out, because I'm not giving the WWE universe,
right,
my fans and my family, the appropriate person that I should be giving them.
Yeah.
And that right there takes more character and more balls, per se, than sitting on a show that is worked by the network anyway. The first time I watched Bring It to the Table, I was all excited. Because you had Paul Heyman and JBL, and it's like, all right, what are we going to hear?
Right.
And there's a few things on there, and you're like, wow, okay. But then it just, and now the guy who's hosting it is working for WWE. You're just like,
yeah.
So,
I mean,
anyway.
I like Peter Rosenberg. I'm actually a fan of his.
I like the show. It's just,
yeah.
You know.
I just, my issue with it is JBL specifically. You know, we definitely here at Corner to Corner fully support Mauro Ranallo as lead commentator on SmackDown and fully believe in his ability to come back.
Hashtag Mauro rules.
Right? And we thank him for all the times that he's
Mauro movement.
any of our commentary, whether it's personally on my account or on the Corner to Corner account. But, you know, for a guy like JBL, who is, I would say he's going to get to the Hall of Fame when he finally decides that he's done.
Here's the problem with JBL, though. He's a bully.
Right.
He's always been a bully. He'll always be a bully. Now, it's real nice that the WWE has this program about not bullying, and they even take it to school, yet they allow one of their on-air personalities to bully another on-air personality. And this individual has a disease that he fights day after day, month after month, year after year, and I'll lay money he probably fights it every minute.
Yeah.
I, too, have issues. I've been diagnosed with PTSD from being a cop for 20-some-odd years. I fight that every day. I keep demons at bay. I take a pill to go to sleep. It's a real thing. And JBL, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. And you should publicly apologize and stop being a jackass. The WWE, the management, should apologize. Because I'm going to lay money that they knew that he willingly told them about what happens. Mm-hmm. And they knew. And he probably told somebody that he couldn't make that episode, and they used the whole, it was snowing, couldn't get in, but they allowed JBL to act like the ass he probably is. And y'all should be ashamed of yourself too. Because if it's anybody else, boy, will you come down awful hard on some of these lower superstars when they make mistakes. And JBL is clearly out of line, just like Taz is out of line, and so is Josh Matthews, who's the biggest asshat I've ever seen. Two of you shouldn't even stuck your nose in it. But JBL, you should publicly apologize and stop being an ass clown.
What did Taz do?
Taz and Josh Matthews both, along with JBL on Twitter,
Josh Matthews works for the loser, doesn't
come out and said something to the effect that, oh, I never missed a date, or I wouldn't let snow, stop me from doing my job or whatever. So both of them, you should be ashamed of yourself. Taz, I'm sure you understand what it's like to feel pain. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure you realize what chronic pain is. Well, sometimes it gets overwhelming. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure you can attest to it, that there are days he just doesn't feel like getting out of bed. And he should just realize the mental health issues involved here and just, not even get involved in it.
Yeah, I will say that I don't know, I could be wrong, but I don't remember, after it came out, Mauro's, like, once the truth or the perceived truth came out, I don't remember Taz saying anything else.
Well, no, Taz, both him and Matthews came out after
Mauro came out.
As far as I remember seeing it reported, because Mauro came out pretty quick. The first one, and then the second one, it was out immediately after the second one.
And see, the WWE should put out something.
Well, I mean, think
because
with all of their sensitivity things that they work on.
If you have a platform that goes into schools, and I know this pretty well, when you have something that goes into schools, you have to be bulletproof.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't have a person going into schools talking to kids these days with social media at their fingertips. Mm-hmm. I mean, could you imagine if they put a thing on and JBL goes into the schools and talks about how you got to be polite, got to be respectful, got to, persevere, be a star, not a bully, and then one of those kids pulls out their smartphone and goes, what about this?
Right.
Where's the WWE now? Mm-hmm. There's only so much merch that's going to shut that kid up.
Cause, I mean, even if he meant it maliciously, the minute he sent them text out, he became a bully. Whether he knew at that time about the depression and all or not, doesn't matter. You became a bully the minute you hit send. Mm-hmm. Now, to me, you're a jackass. There's been plenty of reports you're a jackass for a long time.
Yeah. I mean, we already know what he did to The Miz when The Miz was coming up. We know what he did to Chris Benoit when Benoit was coming through. I mean, and there's countless other times. I mean, look what they did to Public Enemy and tried to do to the Dudleys. When they first debuted, it's one of those things where they think they're beating respect, and it's the same thing that Hardcore Holly did to Matt Capitelli on Tough Enough Season 2. You think you're beating respect into somebody. You think you're forcing the issue and you're going to teach a lesson. That's just not how life is.
Well, and you cannot use old school mentality,
right,
in new generation things.
True. These
wrestlers today, you could probably pick a handful of them. These wrestlers in certain promotions, that if it was back in the day, mm-hmm. if they would have walked into the Spectrum or Sportatorium or wherever Hogan did and got his leg broke on the first day,
right?
How many of them would have been like, all right, I'm coming back tomorrow?
I don't know.
Well, here's an interesting thing.
It's just
To me, though, JBL is going about this old school locker room ragging wrong. Because JBL only goes back to a certain point. Mm-hmm. To me, Justin Hawk, what was his first name?
Justin Hawk Bradshaw.
All right. What was he before then? Was he on the Indies? Or did he go right to the WWE?
He was in the Indies.
Okay. So, but you're only talking the 90s. You're not going back true old school.
Right.
He should have learned from The Undertaker, because if memory serves me right, I've never heard a bad thing about The Undertaker.
Undertaker's the mayor back there.
Right.
Right.
He should have learned from him. JBL's at a position now where he's one of the longest remaining stars on that roster. I don't. Who else dates him now?
On
as
air,
far as WWE on-air personality.
On air, nobody. I would say, because Jerry Lawler's not on air anymore.
No, he's not.
The Big Show, maybe.
The Big Show,
Triple H, maybe.
Continuously on air, Triple H and the Big Show, and tier-wise, because until they had the SmackDown brand split, Bradshaw wasn't in the main event picture.
No, he was battling for the hardcore title.
You know? And when they did the brand split, it was like... It's like back in the day when all the big guys left WWE. You know? Some of those people that had the world title, if the big guys would have stayed, would they have ever seen the world title?
No.
Would Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart ever seen the world title if the big guys were still there?
I would say them too. But there's if Austin could have kept going, he'd have never seen it. Hmm. If Michaels could have kept going, he'd have never seen it.
Right.
If Goldberg hadn't have been hosed over, he'd have never seen it.
Right.
Lord knows if Eddie hadn't have passed away, he'd have never seen it. If Benoit hadn't have done what he did, he'd have never seen it.
But to me, in this day and time of social media, and when are people going to get it in their damn heads how social media comes back to bite you in the ass?
Yeah, it does. You
might type your 140 characters because you think it's funny. Well, you know what? Something you think is funny in your head may not come across in text the way you think it's going to come across.
Yeah.
So then, all of a sudden, now you've got 150 characters out there for the world to see that you're an ass.
Mm-hmm.
Well, look at the situation with Paige.
And it'll get retweeted and retweeted and retweeted.
I mean, Paige had private stuff that she did. Now, what your thoughts are on that is a different situation.
Now, my opinion is, if you don't want in this day and time in technology, what happened was wrong.
Right.
Dead wrong. Invasion of privacy.
Right.
Should be prosecuted to the full extent of the law if they can find it. But if you don't want the chances of it coming out, don't record it.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, with how this goes, it's... Yeah, I mean, you can have your opinion of what she did privately. I get that.
But that's her. She can do it.
But just like you said, for social media, it's everywhere. It will never be gone.
No.
And she'll never get over that. She's not making bookings right now. Her fiance, Alberto Del Rio, is canceling bookings to be with her.
Now,
her family is afraid for her health.
I will have to say, though, for Alberto, that's pretty stand-up, in my opinion, to cancel bookings and then go be where you need to be.
Because his character, the way his what do they call it? The reputation he's got right now is not that he would cancel anything.
Right, that he would do it for the money.
And so if that's true, then that's stand up. And hey, our thoughts are out there to her because everybody's got something that they don't want the world to see. Because as I tell people all the time, when I was a kid and I was out in the woods playing around, we did stupid shit, but we didn't record it. We didn't take pictures of it. Mm-hmm. And our friends were all sworn to secrecy that somebody would die if it ever came out.
Right.
Nowadays, if you're doing something stupid,
it's on
someone's
YouTube.
got a phone right there to put it,
Ta-da!
And then they retweet it and send it. Yeah. And there's been cases of kids who have been bullied and picked on and humiliated because of a picture that got out. So they move schools. Yep. They move schools to a whole different town, and guess what finds them? Somebody at the new school finds the picture or the video. Yeah. And it's horrible. It's horrible. And, your privacy is your privacy. She didn't do that thinking that one day it was going to get out.
No. I mean, it's... We joked about it at first because of what the content was. And then once you step back and say, okay, now look at the situation. Now you've got 3 real people that are impacted here by this. 2 of them will never be punished, apparently. And that's Brad Maddock and Xavier Woods, because apparently they're celebrated as heroes. Whatever, you slept with Paige, who cares?
Who's Brad? Where is he at now? What McDonald's is Brad Maddock?
He hasn't said squat on social media.
What McDonald's is he managing in?
The rumor is he's responsible for the leak. I don't know if it's true or not, but that's the rumor. But Paige, on the other hand, is being held accountable like she's some kind of sex fiend or drug addict.
She's only being held accountable because of where she's at.
She's got the most to lose.
And that's with Del Rio.
Yeah.
They have her still under contract, and for whatever reason, she ain't been on TV in however many months.
Right.
And they're not going to let her go. They're going to just literally put her through the ringer, and that's what they're doing.
Well, and they did hold a backstage meeting on Monday. They did, and Vince McMahon basically stated there was not going to be any kind of punishments handed out because this truly was an invasion of their privacy. They may have their opinions of what happened and why, but the bottom line here is this was a criminal act that took place, stealing their personal information, private information, and then posting it for the world to see.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing hackers do every day.
Yes.
And then they extort people for money. They say, here, if you don't want this out, send me $2,000. Or the new thing about the IRS. That was funny. I loved that the other day.
On Facebook, yeah.
Somebody I know got it, and they said that if you owe us $3,000 in back taxes if you pay us in $1,500 iTunes gift cards.
Yeah.
People, the IRS does not have an iTunes store.
Damn it.
Somewhere
the IRS members
when's
are
the last time you can pay your bill in iTunes money? Get the hell over it, people. Remember it.
If you send me your food stamps, your IRS bill is clear.
As I tell people on a daily basis, you cannot win a contest if you never enter.
Right.
If somebody calls you from Bahamas and say you won the lottery, guess what? If you've never been to the Bahamas, you can't win that motherfucker.
Yeah, I mean it's motherfucker. It's difficult when you get into these types of conversations to transition nice and neat.
Well, I mean, you can sit here and get on your great, holier than thou and better than thou and, attitude of, you could sit here and persecute the people all day long for the content. But the thing is, it's not the content. It's the act. We've all goofed off on video.
Yeah, I mean, it's not our business what they're doing.
Right. I used to work at a place where they'd find me doing something goofy and they'd take a picture and they're like, oh, when you retire, we're going to post it. I don't care.
Yeah.
I wouldn't stand there and smile for the camera if I didn't give a buck,
That's right.
But to JBL, suck it. You get $2, JBL. To the hacker, you get a full hand of bucks.
We're going to get a cease and desist letter from the young bucks.
No, we won't.
Because we're not going super kick.
No, we won't.
But, let's move on. And in other wrestling-related news, it is the week
of WrestleMania. Woo! Road to WrestleMania.
And apparently my Mega Crate didn't come because I ain't got no tickets to that motherfucking event.
Me neither. Fuckers.
I keep looking at this handle of the vacuum cleaner like, what? Like, is this hello?
Rob's performing right here for us at the Corner Studios. No, wait, no.
All right, let's talk some wrestling.
So let's talk about...
Brian's like, I'm going to leave y'all.
Yeah, well, he's got a knife. He's going to make sure we talk about something.
Let's talk wrestling.
So we are on the way to WrestleMania. That is this coming Sunday at 2 o'clock in the morning till midnight. No, I believe the pre-show starts at like 5 o'clock, which is ridiculous. Wow. NXT TakeOver, Saturday night. Mm-hmm. You got the Hall of Fame Friday night. Mm-hmm. And you've got indie shows galore going on all over the Orlando area. Flow Slam's going to be in full effect. They've got the WWN World Championship Tournament.
Ring of Honor.
Super Card of Honor? Is that what that one is? Super Card of Honor taking place in Orlando. Mm-hmm. PWX, I believe, will be down there. I know Anthony Henry is working there. Gosh, there's so many events down there. And so much of what people now call on Twitter, wrestling Twitter, is going to be in attendance. So it's going to be pretty cool to look at the road to WrestleMania through their eyes. Wish we could be down there this year, but, there's always next year. Just saying. New Orleans sounds mighty nice for the triple threat.
It's possible.
Oh, it could happen. I've got a dream. Possible. I've got some dreams.
I got a hookup.
Oh, yeah. Oh, too sweet.
Big Papa Palm got your hookup.
All right. Holla if you hear me.
Hello?
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 Is anybody there? Okay. So let's go ahead and do the breakdown here. I'm going to pull up the cards. We're going to do our predictions.
Well, wait. We should cover Raw, SmackDown real quick. If there's any pertinent.
The best part of wrestling this week, in my opinion, the highlight would be The Miz and Maurice's
the
Total Bellas skits.
Yes.
The low point, Stephanie McMahon.
She looked great, though. She did look good.
But I'm not going to steal Brian's thunder, but I agree totally with him. So, Brian,
what
about Stephanie? I agree.
What about Stephanie?
About the whole thing.
Well, you going with it. It ain't my thunder if you bring it up.
No.
I wasn't going to bring it up. You bring it up. I talked about it at length last week. You can bring it up.
But they just continue to do it. I'm just tired of the whole authoritative thing.
Yeah. I've talked about it multiple times. It's just outlived its usefulness.
Mick Foley's been fired. No longer the Raw general manager.
You know, I heard the replacement, maybe.
Who?
Summer Rae.
They gotta find something for her to do. They're paying her.
That's just
her and her executive assistant, Eva Marie. God. Could you imagine if Eva Marie became the general manager and they did that ring announce every time? Ladies and gentlemen, the general manager of Monday Night Raw. You all know her. You all love her. You've all forgotten about her.
So, anything But on the build-up, anything pertinent?
So let's see here. The CM Punk chants, by the way, are through the roof past few weeks. Guys, he's been going since 2014.
What did I hear about that? That who was it that wasn't getting the pop like they thought? Oh, Roman Reigns.
Oh,
that's
wait.
What it is. That's what it was.
Roman wasn't getting the pop they were.
Right. So they are saying that because the CM Punk chants were so loud that they had to turn down.
Oh yeah, the audio from
the audio.
Yeah.
And that's why Reigns didn't get a damn cheer.
I mean,
because they're piping it in.
I don't know.
I mean, how many times can you cover for this guy?
I don't know how often Punk.
No, watch it.
I imagine maybe he does every now and again.
That's a touchy subject with Stan.
What?
Roman Reigns.
Oh, yeah.
I just think that it's interesting that the chants are now increasing for Punk. And, I mean, The Rock, when they were filming the ring segment for the movie about Paige, reason number 5 that they won't release her, because they're making a movie about her. But when he does that in-ring phone call and gets CM Punk's voicemail, and the WWE flips their lid, because why would The Rock do this? We're in the middle of a lawsuit, blah, 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 blah. But if you look through the website, and if you look through the network, all of a sudden CM Punk's name is just floating around again. Look, I'm a big CM Punk fan. I was a huge fan when he was dropping pipe bombs, and even before then in Ring of Honor and everything, everywhere else in between. But, guys, he's gone. He left in 2014, January, from a concussion injury that WWE stated he had. He had passed their test. He didn't want to stick around, and he was done. He quit. He left. I don't think he's coming back. His UFC debut didn't go so hot. They would have to ultimately find a way to get lightning in a bottle with CM Punk again. Wouldn't be too difficult. But after you get the initial, oh my God, it's CM Punk, if he were to truly come back, I think he'd be lost in the shuffle. They would make a mistake. They'd either leave him on Raw, or they would try to send him down to NXT, which could be great for matches, but I don't think CM Punk would want to.
I say CM Punk versus AJ Styles.
Got them.
For the face that runs the place.
Woo!
You have him debut in Chicago. Jesus. You have that music. Bam!
Rob Stradamus up in here.
But
this year at SummerSlam,
if we get CM Punk, fine. I just want AJ back.
AJ Lee?
Yes.
I mean, yeah.
Because you put her on SmackDown, holy hell.
Her and Mickie James, her and Becky Lynch, her and Natalya, her and go to Raw, Sasha Banks. I mean, it just keeps getting better and better. Her sucking against Nia Jax.
Her and Asuka. It'll be Asuka that goes to SmackDown.
Yeah.
So I think that's on the way.
Passing gas.
Sorry. But I mean, never say never about CM Punk.
Sorry,
but who knows?
It's escaping.
But the problem with the CM Punk chants is not that they're happening; it's the fact that whatever's going on, the product that's going on with WWE right now, nobody gives a rat's shit about it. So that the CM Punk skits or the chants get louder and louder.
Yeah, I don't think it's not that they don't give a crap. I think it's much like a lot of these chants. It catches heat in one city, and you're watching on TV, and you go to the next one.
Yeah.
Oh, they did it to Roman Reigns last week. We're going to do it this week.
Right.
And one person starts, and then it just spreads around arena.
It's just like the "and" chant, or what?
And then? I liked the "what" chant for a good amount of time, and now it's just finally like,
You know who I feel sorry for? I just thought about it.
Who you feel sorry for?
The man who was number 10 in the Rumble.
Ty Dillinger?
Like, you're in the Rumble! Now you go back home.
Yeah, but I mean that happens quite a bit where they'll bring somebody in and then they'll send them back and then
They did that
6 months
to
later.
Bo Dallas. They had him throw out Wade Barrett in the Rumble one year. Barrett beat him up a few weeks in a row, and then back to NXT he went.
Who was it last year? Last year they did it to 2 or 3 of them.
Sami Zayn, it happened to him. He had to go back down.
Yeah. And then I think that's it.
No, I think it's
Sami
happened a couple
Zayn,
times.
the whole Sami Zayn part, I didn't understand. I saw him coming out to say sorry to Mick Foley.
Right.
But then him standing up like, really? You know?
Well, speaking of Sami Zayn, if you want an El Generico shirt, you can pick one up, Pro Wrestling Tees.
We've got the build-up to the Cruiserweight title between Austin Aries and
Are
Neville.
you kidding me? That's match of the
That match is going to
night.
be great. That is going to be a stellar
And
match.
it better be on the main card. If it's on the pre-show, they have just thrown the baby out with the water.
Does it count as on the pre-show if it's all airing on the network anyway?
Yes, because it's still a pre-show.
Yeah, because think about how many people don't turn on the pre-show.
Right.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, how many
true.
people didn't do it when Ryback was on there because he was the pre-show stopper?
Yeah, I mean,
I didn't.
And think about it too.
Yeah, we did.
If you don't have the network and you're getting it from Xfinity, DirecTV, whatever, you don't get the pre-show.
And you're paying $60, $70 for this thing.
And again, to me, that could be the match of the night.
I was looking at it, and WrestleMania, if I can see the Battle Royal going to the pre-show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would have no problem with that.
But all the other matches, I mean, look decent.
What else?
We got the build-up between Jericho and Kevin Owens for the U.S. title.
Could be another great one.
Yeah, I think that one's going to really be a hard one to beat.
You put that in a cage.
What the thing of it is they went to Jericho uses his Twitter conversation with Owens from 2014 about being asked for advice. I could care less. I mean,
but it's just a way for Jericho to be like, "Oh, you love me. You love me more than you're letting on."
But that just shows you the caliber of who Jericho is. Mm-hmm. Is how quickly he turned that audience.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, right before he got thrown through that TV, he was telling them all to stick it.
Yeah,
you know,
that's true.
But I think Jericho's that one of those guys that it doesn't matter what he says to us, doesn't matter what he does to us. We love him. You know, we feel his pain.
Brian's desk is kind of like that counter at QVC when you watch. You're like, hold on, but if you call now,
there's more. Nia Jax defeated Bayley in a no DQ match. She beat the crap out of Bayley.
I don't like Nia Jax.
Yeah, I'm not comfortable with her being on the main roster either. I don't understand why they think she's going to be a big star. But
I mean,
she's related to royalty apparently in wrestling. So
well, yeah, she's one of those peeps. My thing is, especially on the Raw roster right now, you don't really have somebody that can just compete against the monster.
Yeah.
She's a monster. She's a brute. She's,
Need awesome fun.
And again, I don't think you could keep her down at NXT because, I mean, you got Asuka down there, and Asuka's the brute down there.
Right.
God, not taking anything from her. I wouldn't know what to do with her. Personally.
I mean, I think that with what they're doing right now with the build-up for the women's title on Raw, it's almost like they want to just see Nia Jax win it. But the thing is, okay, now she's done it. You're going to cheapen it because in 3 weeks she's going to lose it on Raw to Sasha, Charlotte, or Bayley. And
it's just like when they put the belt on Brock.
Yeah.
They thought, oh, well, this is a great thing. Let's put the belt on Brock Lesnar because he's unbeatable. Oh, wait a minute. We don't have anybody on our roster that can beat him.
Right.
So the way we're going to get the belt off of him is cash it in.
Right. But he doesn't even pin Brock. He pins Roman Reigns.
And Brock doesn't even get a rematch.
Right. Yeah, it's just poor planning.
How are you going to get the belt off? How are you going to get the Universal title off the Beast after WrestleMania?
On the other hand, we did see kind of a cool build-up as they continue to build for the Raw Tag Team titles. We got Enzo and Cass against Gallows and Anderson and Sheamus and Cesaro. This was a handicap match where it was Sheamus and Cesaro versus the Club and Enzo and Cass. Mm-hmm. Enzo and Cass throw Anderson and Gallows to the Wolves, basically. And Cesaro and Sheamus get the win with a quick pin over Anderson, which I like the dynamic. I don't know how good this triple threat match is going to be, but I mean, it's. I want to see the Club win and defend the titles. I like Enzo and Cass, but I just don't think it's time for them yet. Maybe you get a little bit more time with the crowd getting behind them.
Yeah, but
further. I don't know.
I've said it before. My thing with Enzo and Cass is they're easy to beat. They're not hard to beat. All you have to do is take poor little Enzo,
right,
and just beat the tar out of him, and don't let him tag Cass,
and
the match is done. I mean, he's nowhere near the size of half these other teams.
True.
He's got talent, but again, who's the guy who takes the beating in the matches? It's Enzo.
I also think the mic work for the battle, the chase, would be better than once they get it. You know, just imagine if they do this WrestleMania thing where the club comes out, or let's say Cesaro and Sheamus get their rematch and they win. All right, then the club on Monday comes down and just totally kicks their butts.
Right.
You know, or Cesaro, Sheamus, bam, then they're deleted on Monday.
Deleted?
You know, but
I think
because I don't.
Anthem has sent us a letter.
I mean,
I think somebody gets deleted on Sunday.
You know,
So
but
it seems like it.
and that could come out. I mean, it's just I think them Enzo and Cass chasing the club is better TV with Enzo's mouth and the club's just coming out and kicking. Just I mean, how many weeks could you see them come out and just kick Enzo's ass? And then on that one night, Enzo gets the pin.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. I mean, if you're gonna
like the Sami Zayn and Braun thing.
To me, if you're gonna take the title from the club, you just make it a basic tag team match. I don't need the triple threat or whatever you want to call it.
I mean, it seems like they're just trying to make sure they get more people on.
Well, I got that, but that's why we got a pre-show.
Well, I mean, you could put the people on the pre-show. I mean, shit, you got Big Show in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. Who's going to throw him out?
Cesaro. No, wait. I don't know.
What's his name?
No Chin?
No.
Ellsworth. That'd be fun.
No, what's his name from SmackDown?
Baron Corbin?
No, not Corbin. The guy
Mojo?
Mojo. Yeah, there you go, Mojo.
But I mean,
Mojo Jojo.
But like, I don't unless this week they get some pre-matches.
Fuck you,
you know, unless they get some pre-matches going on this week.
Yeah.
Because is Samoa Joe fighting anybody?
I got used to restroom. Excuse me, gentlemen. Sorry.
I don't really think the Twitter world needed
I love you guys.
Ow!
Oh wait, what you got to do? Number 1, number 2.
Number 3.
Oh my goodness gracious. Oh yeah. I mean, New Day still doesn't have a match. Why couldn't you have New Day versus Cesaro and Sheamus? Unless you got plans for New Day to be deleted. You know what I'm saying?
And that could be.
Oh, I think.
But
that's
like I was saying, I mean, does Samoa Joe have a match at
at
WrestleMania?
I don't know if one's been booked yet.
Or is he going against Sami Zayn?
I would imagine if it is, it's probably Sami Zayn. Poor Sami.
Sami Zayn, a.k.a. You know?
Yeah, that guy.
But I mean, you have such a rich roster. There is no reason why they cannot have a huge pay-per-view. And then, because why not start your pay-per-view with the Andre the Giant Battle Royal? You start WrestleMania with the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, a tip to the hat. And then you have, on the pre-show, you have Fandango and Breezango versus, whoever. Because I know they always want to get as many people on as they can.
Yeah, I don't particularly care much for the pre-show because to me that's where you should have some of these matches. But they never seem to, sometimes talent just doesn't get highlighted like they should, and I guess that's fine. But just do it that way. Who says they have to have a match? I mean, I would think that the club versus Enzo and Cass would be worthy enough not to have Sheamus and Cesaro.
You don't need that third thing. It's just like, it's kind of like your Divas division on SmackDown. Instead of coming out and saying, all right, you having Becky Lynch versus Mickie James, the winner of Becky Lynch versus Mickie James gets the title shot at WrestleMania. Oh, you know what? It's everybody.
Right.
Every available diva.
Oh, yeah. Every available diva. And I would imagine, what's her name will come back. God, why am I having a hard time with names? Naomi. Mm-hmm. I imagine Naomi will be back. And I wouldn't be shocked if there's not a surprise.
Well, Nikki Bella says she's going to be in it.
Well, yeah. Well, how does she get in if she's got that other match?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, she says she's going to be in it. You know, so, I mean, you're doing those matches to get those people involved. But then you've got your lower tier, you know, why can't you put some of them in matches?
Mm-hmm.
You know? Why can't you have a Dolph Ziggler versus a, his name just fell off my tongue.
Apollo Crews?
Apollo Crews. I like Apollo Crews. You know, why can't you just have them two versus each other since they've had some beef? You know? And then that could be on the pre-show. And then you put them in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. Because come on, Andre the Giant Battle Royal is just like the tag team Battle Royal they had on SmackDown. Remember, for the number one contender or whatever for the title? Where they had all the tag teams in there and then one other guy, and you're like, oh, I wonder who's going to win this.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's see if I can find the match list in here so we can...
Like, he's got the thing up on his... Apparently it's a doozy.
Yeah, it's a big card. I mean, we haven't even touched the main ones yet. The Reigns Undertaker build up this past week sucked major ass, because Eddie said I can say ass.
I mean, I think any build up with Roman Reigns versus the Undertaker, everybody says it's going to be this slobber knocker, this iconic match, passing of the torch kind of thing. And my God, if there's anybody that Undertaker can pass the torch to, should not be Roman mother effing Reigns.
Yeah, I don't know what you're looking at, but God, I don't understand how that can be nothing but a crapper.
You know,
Go get your popcorn.
And I never thought I would say this, but I think that should be on the pre-show. You know, like, you should, poor Undertaker, your last WrestleMania will be on the pre-show.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. We'll start with The Miz and Maurice versus Cena and Nikki. I found my own list, it looks like.
Okay, because he's got Raw. He's still got Raw up.
So, again, I thought the skit was great. Could be interesting, especially if Maurice can wrestle.
I mean, that's my thought is, where's Maurice? Like, we obviously seen her pictures of her. Obviously, we've seen the pictures of her training.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but it's, you know, does she still? How much ring rust does she have?
Right.
You know, does she have the? Because I mean, obviously her mic skills were rusty there for a while, but again, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I would almost rather see Cena versus Miz and then Maurice versus Nikki, you know, than putting them all together. But yeah, it could be interesting. So
I mean, imagine if they take a page out of Lucha Underground's book, and they let Miz totally just like
wrestle Nikki,
like heel kick Nikki right in the face. You know, because John Cena with his character would never touch Maurice. He would never touch a woman.
Yeah, for
his character. But imagine if Miz just goes out there while Cena's got his back turned, and he just bam throws her up and just.
Yeah, that would definitely make him public enemy number one.
Because then after WrestleMania, you could have a John Cena versus Miz feud all the way to the next title. You know?
Yeah, I think they would. I think either one of them, I would be fine with a title, you know, especially the world title, and then feuding for it. So I would have no problem with that one. All right, so we're not going to touch Undertaker and Reigns. Again, I think that might be the...
Is that the one that come out beforehand and say, go get your popcorn and go get your merch?
Yeah. To me, that has the possibility of being probably the worst of the night. Especially, again, when you have Kevin Owens versus Chris Jericho. What a great build-up that's been.
And for those who are not, Stan is keeping us apprised of his duties. And
yeah. All the dings are Stan texting us while he's using the bathroom.
Yeah.
What a gentleman. What a gentleman.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the picture to come through,
Yeah.
but hopefully we won't get that.
If you're ever next to Stan, don't ask him to use his phone, because I don't know if he washes his hands.
So we got the Battle Royal. I don't know all the participants. I don't know if they've announced them yet. So, wow. SmackDown Women's title again. I think Naomi comes back. I look for her to win the title if she does. What are you eyeballing?
I'm trying to find it on his computer.
Oh.
There we go.
But
updated.
Again, Natalya, Carmella, Becky Lynch, Mickie James, Alexa Bliss. That's quite a lineup, and I'm sure I'm missing some.
Oh, I mean, you've got every available diva. So, like you said, you got Natalya, Becky Lynch. You're gonna have Nikki Bella in that match. I would even be surprised if Maurice comes down.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but what divas have been on the shelf that they could bring back?
Well, Naomi.
Mm-hmm.
What show was Eva Marie on?
SmackDown.
So,
Boo.
and they did learn the lesson the last paper.
Remember we were there. Remember we were there in JPJ when she came and they did that whole thing, and then she didn't come out, or she did come out.
No, she didn't come out. I don't think she came.
She ran.
No, yeah, she did.
Wrestled.
Yeah, but she was a good guy though.
And they made it. She made him re-announce her, and it was like, oh my god.
And then, but remember, the last time I think she showed up was a pay-per-view, and she just absolutely got booed on the joint. But again, you got Asuka, who may rumored to have appear. So let's see. The Raw Women's title match. Charlotte, Sasha, Nia Jax, Bayley.
Yeah. And then, again, I would have been fine with this being Charlotte versus Bayley.
Mm-hmm.
But you add the Banks, Charlotte, Sasha in there. Sasha, this is a chance for Sasha to turn.
Mm-hmm.
I think Charlotte walks out with the belt. I think Sasha and Bayley. I think then Sasha turns on Bayley, and we have Sasha versus Bayley for the next couple weeks.
And then so Nia versus Charlotte for the next couple weeks.
Yeah,
until they switch corners.
I interrupt this broadcast to announce that TC's Pizza is bad.
Hey.
It is the devil.
We're trying to be civil.
This segment has been brought to you by hand sanitizer.
Don't want to sit down yet.
You've got that, but then we've got the WWE title match. You know, I know we're not there yet, but we got the United States title match, Kevin Owens versus Chris Jericho.
Mm-hmm. Another possible match of the night.
You've got the IC title. IC title.
That might be another, to me, craptastic match. Because if Baron doesn't get it, this whole thing's been for naught.
I think you see Baron get it. I think the Dean Ambrose train is kind of coming into the station of you're going to be,
bumped down.
Not necessarily like NXT bumped down, but just not.
Oh, that would be brutal.
But not, I mean, obviously you can see in the weeks preceding this, he has not been as focused as he was.
Very true.
And I mean, what else is better for TV anyway than a crazy lunatic Dean Ambrose chasing somebody who's got his belt?
Yeah, the thing is though, And I never understood why they did it. Why would you put the belt on Ambrose when Miz was so hot as an Intercontinental champ?
It's the same stupid thing with Roman Reigns. When they were the Shield, remember? Oh, they were the hottest thing since sliced bread. And no, they weren't that great.
Right.
Because you had the Wyatts, who to me were gotten more heat than anybody.
Oh, no, I mean, they turned the Shield at the right time. They turned them face.
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying is that's what they're living off of, is that legacy of the Shield.
Yeah.
Where Vince is like, fell in love with them and, we're going to put y'all together. And that's why Roman still has that breastplate and the music. And they show the, promos from
that. And he's reliving his Little League days.
Yeah.
He never got to be catcher.
Safe! Sorry.
I mean, I'll even take a step further, and I'll say that, like you think about, they took the belt off and put him on Dean off of Miz, when you could have Miz versus John Cena for the IC title right now.
Yeah.
And doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
But then
just as good.
You've got Brock versus...
yeah.
But these are the same people that you now have Brock versus Bill for the Universal title, which that didn't need a title on it.
True.
I mean, if that was just a war to settle the score...
It'd been just fine.
Then that'd be fine. And then you could have set up a thing where, Kevin Owens turns on Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho gets hurt, can't defend his title. Then they make it vacant, and they crown a new champ at WrestleMania in a battle royal or do something.
Get the winner of the Andre the Giant battle royal.
And then
U.S. champ.
Chris Jericho comes back and says, "Well, you took what was mine. I'm taking what's yours."
Yep.
And had Chris Jericho versus him, Kevin Owens, for the Universal title. But now we've got two part-timers, or I would say almost no-timers, going for the Universal title that you're trying to establish a pedigree to.
Never was.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Goldberg sticks around. He may get a rematch, and that's it.
I read a report that they are working on trying to extend his contract through the end of the year. Well, through SummerSlam. Which isn't out of the realm of possibility. The thing of it is, Goldberg wins, he's got to lose the belt still. Who you put it on. You're not going to put it on Brock, because they've already made that clear. If you put the belt on Brock, which...
They're going to do it at WrestleMania.
So they do that, now who takes it off Brock?
Right.
Well, that's the thing.
It's a vicious cycle. I mean, you of the two, I'd rather have Brock Lesnar because he's the more believable of the two. I'm a big fan of Bill Goldberg. I liked it in nostalgia run, but it's coming to an end. I don't understand unless you're just going to trot him out for maybe appearances and maybe guest GM or something.
Well, I mean, my thing is, if you're going to put the belt on him, again, his whole run didn't need a belt.
I agree.
But when he came out and said they're going to do the belt, they should not have let him beat. They should have had him wrestle.
I think with Brock, they missed the boat with having them actually go at it toe-to-toe and just fight it out. I think they were scared of what happened at WrestleMania 20 happening again. So rather than that happening, they went ahead and went with what they thought would be the shocker. And it was. The other part of it is also, when you look at it from a business perspective, Kevin Owens has years left. And they know that. They know that he's got years of marketability ahead of him. So Goldberg has what? 6 months, 8 months, depending. They took the shot. Did it pan out in the long run? I guess we'll see when it comes to WrestleMania's numbers.
Well, yeah, but to me, I don't understand how you think you can judge the numbers of those two matches, because the majority of people are going to be tuning in for other stuff.
True. That's a good point.
Now, don't get me wrong; they'll generate their own business, and but I don't see how you can, because the if you sit and think about this, they are about to paint that belt into a corner.
Right, because you can't get it off of either guy.
Right. The only one that could possibly do it would be Samoa Joe, because that's what they're building him to be.
Man, that would be cool.
Is a monster.
Have him beat one or the other. I mean, either guy would be cool.
Right. That's, to me, that's the only guy on your roster that currently is wrestling that you could do it. Triple H could do it, but he's not full time. You could, if you look, can't be Seth Rollins.
No.
He ain't going to do it.
It's not going to be Roman Reigns.
Ain't going to be Finn Balor.
No. They're protecting Balor right now.
Well, we haven't
even seen him come back to TV yet.
Right, but even if he's 100%, it ain't going to be Finn Balor.
They won't put him in the ring together.
Right.
They know they damage him by doing that. I think the Samoa Joe idea is great because regardless of who he beats, he's a made man. Like, from then on, he's the guy that beat Brock Lesnar. He's the guy that beat Goldberg. Boom. Made man, WWE legend there.
Well, I think
that's pretty quick for a guy that just got there.
Yeah, but again, you look at his career, though.
He did the same thing with all the other couple others.
Yeah.
Look at his career, though. It's not like he's, just
right. He's not a rookie,
new,
but
right?
Yeah.
He's what we've talked about before. He's one of these genuine pedigree wrestlers.
Mm-hmm.
He's like AJ Styles. AJ Styles didn't need the WWE. The WWE needed AJ Styles.
Absolutely.
Samoa Joe could have made just as much money.
Oh yeah.
Traveling, doing what he was doing. He didn't need WWE.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to come here because now he says he can say, "I've been there."
Right.
Well, I mean, I want you to think about this. I don't think Joe did any time in New Japan any serious time in New Japan. He might have done a show or two, but I don't recall him being signed for any length of time. I think he went from Impact to NXT.
I don't know. I think
he also was Ring of Honor for a while, wasn't he?
Yeah, Ring of Honor. Yeah, Impact, Ring of Honor, NXT. But I want you to think about that. He could have gone across to Japan, and they would have done to him what they should be doing to him and what they're starting to do, and he'd have become bigger. He would have transcended in New Japan the WWE. He didn't need the WWE. They clearly needed him, just like Rob said. But he made that choice to go. If he had gone a different route, oh my goodness, Joe versus Okada, Joe versus Omega, Joe versus Elgin. The list goes on. Naito, Shibata.
Mm-hmm.
He would have had more opponents over there. So you have no choice but to turn him into the monster he has been everywhere else. And I think he, maybe gets the belt off of one or two of them.
And I think we're in that vicious cycle that the WWE's done for years. Is you put the title on someone like that, okay? Like what they did before. You put the title on someone like Brock Lesnar, okay? It is not feasible in the fan's eye in this day and time of a smart fan for a Sami Zayn or an AJ Styles to come out on Monday and be like, "Bitch, it's mine."
Right.
Well, now I could see AJ taking apart Goldberg.
Right.
Well,
but AJ can't. No, I don't think AJ could take apart Brock.
He could pull off the underdog thing. He would be a face turn for him.
Right, but to me,
there's no way, in my opinion, that Brock could survive that.
Oh no, that would
Brock. Brock is a true fighter.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't see how you could feasibly make AJ beat Brock without a lot of outside interference. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I think AJ could dismantle Goldberg and make it look good. So I think AJ could get one,
right?
But he couldn't get both. Because if you look, again, you go back and look at Goldberg, anytime he's been in the ring with true wrestlers, Regal, Jericho, they made him look ridiculous. And
all right,
they were some of his worst matches, and they were the better wrestlers he's going against.
All right, so let's go down the card since Stan's back from the pooper. Let's start at the bottom. Obviously, the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, Mojo, Apollo Crews, The Big Show, Dolph Ziggler.
Have they announced everybody yet?
I think Kalisto's in it.
Those have been announced. Out of those been announced, who wins? With the talk of The Big Show coming down the pike, that he's winding down his run.
Yeah, I would say that because he's so close to being done, that they'll finally give it to him when they should have did it the first year. But
he's already won it.
Yeah, he won it the first year, didn't he?
He won it the second year. Or he won it 1 year.
Corbin won it the second.
Won the first one.
Yeah.
Corbin won the second one.
Well, maybe Big Show hadn't wanted to.
Wow.
They said the other day on Raw that he had, but
wait, maybe you're right.
I thought the Big Show wanted the first year.
I would say out of the stars that are on it, the one that could use it the most would be either Mojo or Apollo.
Yeah, I don't know necessarily about using it the most, but I think Mojo probably gets. I think Mojo is going to be pushed to be the next big thing.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah, he won it at 31. Big Show did. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
my bad, guys.
I don't know if this is it's up. This is March 13th updates. I don't know if there's matches I'm missing. So, SmackDown Women's Title: Mickie James, Carmella, Natalya, Becky Lynch, Alexa Bliss, and others.
Yeah, there's a rumor that they're trying to get Victoria and Maria Kanellis to come in for that.
Or now, is this when you debut Asuka?
I think it's Asuka. Because
smart.
she is with them
on the road, yeah.
On the
She's
road.
been touring with them for the past few weeks.
In the SmackDown Live.
Yeah,
yeah.
SmackDown. Yet another reason to try to get there Tuesday. Daggone it.
So out of the ones named, let's do this.
Okay.
Let's go around the horn, as Eddie would say.
All right.
Let's go around the horn, and you get, out of the ones announced, give me a winner, and then give me a dream pick.
All right. Who's first?
We'll go with you, Stan.
Okay. Well then.
I don't know what is something about sitting on this spot that now I just haven't shut up.
Alexa Bliss, I think, will be the winner. Dream pick. Gosh. Dream pick. Velvet Sky.
Ooh. Bell. Or, sorry, I can't call her that. That's Brian's pet name for her. I'm not sitting on anything.
Velvet Hollet, not just like this. If they stab you in the butt, it's going to hurt, though.
Brian, or do you want to go back to you?
Oh, I'm not. I think just off of the ones named, it'll probably be Becky Lynch. Off of the ones named, I couldn't even begin to pick a fantasy. I think Asuka will make her debut because there's so many variables. Asuka, Naomi, Eva Marie.
Yeah, because I mean,
off the roster.
There is a rumor that Naomi's healthy enough to perform, and that she'll be at Mania. Eva Marie has been healthy enough, but they just haven't put her on TV. Gosh, I mean, Tessa Blanchard, Rachel Ellering.
Well, yeah, but I don't think any of them would show up. I'm just talking.
I think you have a chance to see one of them show up at NXT.
Right. God, I hope so.
I say Becky Lynch for the announced picks, because then you could have Becky Lynch versus Mickie James to settle the score.
And the other thing too is if Asuka truly does debut soon, she's not going to face
Becky.
Well, I think she'll face Becky because to me it'd be better her to be heel than her to play her to play face.
Okay.
And go against Mickey or.
But I also think if they're going to debut Asuka to the main roster, you do it in a match like that because then that saves her credibility, shall say, because then she doesn't have to lose to lose.
Right.
She doesn't have to be pinned.
Yeah, there's 10 different people.
Now, long pick. I'd love to see Lita come back for one more run, but
there was so much rumbling going on a few weeks ago that because of her, impromptu tag match that she took part in, that maybe WWE was trying to get her ready. Trish Stratus was supposedly going to be on the Survivor Series team, and then she announced she was pregnant with her second child, so couldn't do that. I would love to see Lita come back.
But, I mean,
that would be so cool.
But, we'll see.
All right, moving on.
Triple threat for the Raw Tag Team titles.
Yeah, we could.
The triple threat to the Raw Tag Team titles: Enzo and Cass, Sheamus and Cesaro, Luke Gallows and Anderson, the Club. Brian.
I think this is going to be one of those matches where they do the wrong thing at the wrong time, and it just hurts the team that wins. In the long run, I hate to go against the Good Brothers, but I think they're going to put them on Enzo and Cass, and they'll probably lose it the next night. If not, then the Hardys showing up that night and getting a tag team title match. Or
I was going to say, because in one of the comments, if you look down, it says, as the match progresses, Vanguard 1 comes down, transports the Hardys there, and it becomes a 4-way TLC match.
Oh, that would be so cool if they had the teleportation device. Delete! Delete!
I mean, if they did one of those things where the stage opened up, the smoke, and all of a sudden...
Yeah, I honestly think the Hardys are going to be there. I just don't know if they're going to get New Day or if they'll get involved in this tag match.
Man.
But then also, let's keep going down. But I say I like the club. But I think you're going to see Enzo and Cass get it.
Honestly, I think the club's going to retain. I think we're going to see the split of Sheamus and Cesaro. I think Enzo and Cass will come up just short, and they're going to keep teasing it.
All right, now since we're on tag team, let's talk about the new SmackDown Live Tag Team Champions, the Usos.
Fuck those guys.
Now, here's the thing. I don't know, because this has a rematch been announced for WrestleMania?
They tried to get it done on Talking Smack. The Usos were like, we got a ticket to WrestleMania. Who's it going to be? Who are we facing? And
the Hardys.
Well, then they also said that they wanted to face the club. So, I mean, they were just talking. They said Bullet Club, actually, on Talking Smack, which was kind of cool.
Balor brings out somebody.
God, that'd be cool.
Because if you
notice,
notice,
I'm sure Balor's going to get a match in there somehow.
Balor's been wrestling
off
with
TV
with the Balor Club logo.
Well, even his logo, the Titantron, has Balor Club on it. I think
Alpha gets the title shot.
Yeah, I think Alpha gets the title shot. I think if the Hardys went to SmackDown, they would want them on the Alphas. Because they haven't mentioned the Usos or nobody else, but they've talked about the Alphas of the Americas or whatever.
Right.
So,
I mean...
But could you see it? Usos are standing there. One of the first matches. Usos are standing there in the middle of the ring, and they're going, we're here, and guess what? We're the champs, and we don't have anybody to fight us.
So we're going,
and then
we're done.
All of a sudden...
Just the piano.
You know... Matt Hardy comes out going, yes. Who are you? You know, like we wanted the Alphas of the Americas, not the Uso. You know? But anyway,
yeah, I mean that would be possible too. So,
WWE United States title match: Kevin Owens versus Chris Jericho.
Kevin Owens.
All right.
Stan was in great debate over there. I'm saying Kevin Owens.
I think
Stan's holding his Perry Saturn days and he's holding the
mopping. I think Owens wins it, and I think he obliterates Jericho. Mm-hmm. I think it's a massacre. I think Jericho, whether they tell him to or not, he'll blade. There'll be blood.
Well, I think it's quite possibly going to be reminiscent of how he destroyed what's his name down at NXT.
Zayn, yeah. It's gonna be bad. And I think Jericho is doing this right now to put Owens over the top.
Mm-hmm. And I also think that because Jericho is part-time, and they had come out and said the only reason he's still with WWE is because of his working with Owens.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, he doesn't need because where is he going to go from here?
I mean, he would do he'll probably come back to the Goldberg kind of, the Brock Lesnar Goldberg kind of schedule. But I think, honestly, I think Owens just obliterates him.
Mm-hmm. All right. Triple threat for the Raw's Women's title. Sasha. Well, now it's a quadruple threat or whatever.
Fatal four-way.
Fatal four-way. Banks, Flair, Bayley, and shouldn't be there. Nia Jax. I'm going to go first and say that Charlotte Flair wins. Sasha Banks turns on Bayley.
Ooh, look at you. Got the double call. Let's say Nia Jax.
Sorry, those things let home my pointed to Stan.
And also, I agree, Sasha turns on Bayley. I think everybody's going to end up calling that.
You know, I can almost see the three, the other three winning But something tells me that somehow or another Bayley is going to escape. And you will still see Sasha turning.
What about?
But because of the
three of
turn,
them stand in the ring.
yeah, because of the turn, Bayley will keep it.
What if Bayley turns on Sasha and sides with Charlotte?
I'm not a hugger. I'm a hitter.
Bayley loses to Nia Jax. Jax celebrates out with the title. Charlotte's in the ring, and she's putting the boots to Banks. Bayley, of course, is going to save her friend. And as she does that, she turns and but down goes Sasha.
If they were going to throw them up, then if Bayley turns, she has to keep the title. The Horsemen never went into a match
as challengers
and let the champ lose if they were in it. You know what I'm saying? If they could help it.
Well, I mean,
if you look at it, Flair would lose normally when he'd be by himself.
Well, you know Dana Brooke's going to get involved somehow because there's this mini feud between her and Charlotte.
Well, who's to say that,
It's not a setup.
Well, who's to say she doesn't come down, start attacking Charlotte, and the whole thing's thrown out?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Disqualification, done.
Yeah,
way to go, Bayley.
And Bayley wins.
Yeah, to me, somehow or another, I think Bayley... to me, if Bayley's going to lose, I think it would be a one-on-one contest.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but Fatal 4-Ways, those are no DQ. So is the Triple Threat.
It's the WWE referees. You know they don't look at their rule books.
We're talking about the people that put the referee in the cage. It used to be you only won by the cage match by getting out the door over the top. Now they're tapping.
How many times have you watched a no DQ match or something?
And they
grab the ropes and they're counting to 5,
yeah.
and they make them break it.
I don't know, man.
and they'll tell you the rules prior to the match, and they still break.
Now, to me, I think Dana Brooke, it's all a work with Charlotte, just like Flair used to do
with Arn.
Yeah.
Or Arn come down, or one of them would come down. They'd have beef, but then wait a minute,
boom,
and then the four of them: Sasha, Charlotte, Dana Brooke, and Nia Jax are standing in the ring.
Oh, and
I don't,
no pun intended, Nia Jax is the heavy for the four horsemen.
I don't see. I would hope they wouldn't put Nia in there.
Oh, it's the revolving fourth position. You can put anybody
there. Nia's in there until
somebody better comes along.
All right, now moving up. Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt for the WWE World title. Sorry, the WWE title.
Who goes first?
It doesn't matter.
I'm
just somebody throw it out there.
Brian.
Right. Just somebody throw it out there. We don't have to. We're not in kids. I don't got to raise my hand.
Raise your hand, Brian.
I say Bray retains.
I think this might be the sleeper match of the night between Bray and Randy Orton, and I'm hoping in my heart of hearts that Bray Wyatt retains. Although I have to give credit where it's due, Randy Orton has stepped his game up big time with this feud.
I will say that his promos have been better, but he is still right there. Like, I am so sick of watching Randy Orton. That, I mean, the match is going to be not good. The match is going to be stellar.
Yeah.
But I hope Bray Wyatt retains so that we can go on to something.
Well, this could be the match, though, that Randy helps Bray solidify his position.
Right, exactly.
So,
and that's why I think it might be a show stealer, because Orton, when he wants to, is a great performer, and he can sell like nobody's business. It's when he gets into his own head that he just seems like, nah, I don't want to do that. And he makes people look bad. I mean, look what he did to Kofi Kingston. It's the reason Kofi Kingston didn't get a singles push after that. Because Kofi was anticipating a little early on the RKO, and rather than just hit it and be done, he's got to stand up, lambast him on public television, and then to follow up with that, he goes backstage and complains to Vince. Therefore, Kofi Kingston doesn't see a singles push. They were in the middle of a feud that the crowd loved, and it was getting Kofi over as a big-time face. So, I mean, I still have issues with that. I think Bray Wyatt is probably the guy for WWE for the next few years.
All right.
Well, at least until next year when Roman reigns.
Do you see Triple H? Are we going to see Triple H versus Seth Rollins?
No. I think Rollins is out He'll miss his second WrestleMania, and you will get the Demon. Because, just like we said earlier, Balor has been wrestling off TV.
Against Triple H.
Against Triple H, correct. Or against Joe, or who was the other one? Owens, I think. In the six man.
Balor, Zayn, and Jericho.
Yes. I think it's a great storyline for Rollins to be at the top, and not really have a WrestleMania moment. So that when he finally gets that WrestleMania moment, it's going to be major.
Mm-hmm.
So he's hurt. He got hurt again. Keep him off. I can't go. The doctors won't clear me, but I found a substitute. And when the lights go off and the music hits and he comes crawling out the back, that would be... I got goosebumps now just thinking about it.
I'm kind of goose pimply already, too.
But however, if the match does take place, I think Triple H wins.
Does Bobby Roode come up?
Not on Mania, but I think on the Raw after.
Okay.
Well,
does he lose to Nakamura, or does Nakamura beat him?
See, this is the thing. Nakamura is stating publicly he wants to work Mania. And he wants to do it this year. He really wants to be on the card. To do that, essentially wouldn't you have to have him lose to Bobby Roode? And then have him have a match?
Put him in the Battle Royal.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's a wasted effort.
And it cheapens his debut on the main roster. To answer your first question, though, does Triple H versus Rollins happen? I think, it happens because of the whole hold harmless agreement thing that they talked about, which was probably the best part of Raw, by the way. Triple H continues to deliver big time in a promo. But I think it happens. I agree with Brian. I think Triple H actually wins. And Rollins continues the chase against Triple H. I do think we see the Demon at Mania, but I'm not sure how unless it's against Samoa Joe. And that's something we should find out tomorrow night. If it's going to happen, we should see it tomorrow night.
All right. The one we've all been avoiding all night. Bill Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar.
Well, we've got another one to talk about, unless you guys have already hit on it. Taker and Roman.
I said that's the trash match. That's the one you can just throw right in the can.
You think it's going to suck that bad?
It's going to suck. It's the worst way for Undertaker to go out at WrestleMania.
Yeah, this is supposedly the last Mania for Taker.
He would have been better fighting the damn mannequin that one Japanese wrestler fought.
Yeah.
I can't see Roman Reigns doing a good job in a matchup with a guy like The Undertaker.
The Undertaker needs somebody...
It just doesn't...
The Undertaker needs somebody equal to him or able to show.
Right. And somebody a little bit more flashy.
It would have been, I think, personally, Undertaker should have come out and it should be Undertaker versus Joe.
God, that would have been good.
Or Undertaker versus, that right there.
Or
you could have Undertaker
versus AJ.
That is better. Like, Roman Reigns needs to go film a movie. Don't they need to make Marine like 72 or something?
Yeah, but the Miz has got a contract for that.
Well, now Miz can do the Marine movies, and can't they do a Chaperone 2 or something? And
God, no.
Nanny. The Nanny. Let's do Nanny. What is it? Whatever.
Yeah.
God.
I mean, here's the problem. If this is truly Undertaker's last go, he has to win.
Yeah.
But then if you're pushing Roman Reigns up everybody's ass to try and get him over, he has to win.
I can't handle that, no.
So what are we doing? It makes no sense. If The Undertaker loses, he is not passing the ball to nobody. Because nobody likes Roman Reigns. This isn't like John Cena.
So what if, and just hear me out, what if in the span of this matchup, because we've already heard quiet rumblings about it, but what if in the span of this matchup, Reigns actually goes heel and uses chairs, uses weapons, beats The Undertaker bloody, or close to it. Undertaker still escapes with the win, and Roman Reigns retires Taker after the match with a beatdown. Ow. Don't do that.
Oh, all right, so...
Ow! Quit it!
So you want to put the Undertaker's legacy on the line. Because that's exactly what you're going to do.
Yeah. I hear what
when
you're saying.
When he is retired by somebody that when they boo him, they're not booing him because he's heel.
Are you saying boo earns? Or are you saying boo?
He's booed because they generally don't like him.
I mean, I'm not saying that they love the guy. I'm saying they actually turn him
but
in an effort to keep it moving.
It's not going to do you no good. Absolutely no good. In no aspect of that match to do that.
I agree with Brian. I don't think at this point in The Undertaker's legacy that punking him out to Roman Reigns,
right?
Because that's basically what you'd be doing.
Right.
You'd be punking out in a gory way The Undertaker to Roman Reigns, the person that everybody hates.
Right.
And again, we're not hating his character like heel face. We just hate him.
Like,
I mean, literally. Again,
we don't hate heel or face. We just hate his face.
Yeah. I want you to think about this.
And his heel.
Now, would you consider him?
Down,
would you consider him a good guy or a heel?
Who, Roman?
Yes.
I don't even know if the definition fits anymore, but I would consider him a face right now.
Correct. Who won the PWI most hated last year?
Oh, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it was Roman Reigns. As a face, he won that.
Let me look that
Most hated wrestler as a face.
2016. Okay, most hated. I'm looking that up right now.
I mean, I don't see where their styles are. I mean, Roman.
Am I right?
No. He was first runner-up.
Oh, first runner-up. Okay, first runner-up. A face is first runner-up to your PWI most hated
Can I
wrestler.
just say how awesome that is? I don't think that's ever been done before.
It hasn't. That's why I bring it up.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
That is like genuine heat that we don't want to see your dumb ass no more.
PWI, I love you. I just want you to know that because that's awesome.
But, I mean, and that's where we go. Like, I mean, granted, the WWE will do what the WWE is going to do, and The Undertaker will do what he needs to do for The Undertaker. I mean, here we go. We got The Undertaker coming out. He comes out right before Royal Rumble or Survivor Series and says, I'm back.
I'm back, yeah.
Digging holes and taking souls. Mm-hmm. And, wait a minute, I'm taking my check and going home.
I like you guys. Bye.
Then he shows up on Monday night. He shows up on Monday Night Raw. I'm digging holes and I'm taking souls. But by the way, I'm going home.
Bye, bitches.
If you lose the Survivor Series match, he tells all SmackDown people, you'll have to pay for me. Well, then they win. Oh, don't see Undertaker.
Yeah, he goes to Raw.
And he comes out. And then on Royal Rumble, he's like, I got 29 holes for 29 souls. You know? And I'm surprised. One, we didn't see no T-shirts. The Undertaker Rumble. You know? 29 holes.
Yeah, I mean...
And he filled 5. You know, like...
I would have much rather seen... I think I would much rather seen is him win the Rumble and he face, Brock Lesnar or Goldberg for the title.
I think that would have been the best way for him to go out.
And then let him go out that way. Win or lose, let him go out that way.
Like I said for years, the way that needs to happen is he needs to win the title at WrestleMania. And then he says, I'm done regardless. So WrestleMania ends, blacked out, Undertaker in the ring holding the belt, the gong sound, and then on Monday, Raw opens up, belts on the table in the middle of the ring, lights out, Undertaker's music plays, but the belt's there, and he's not. So therefore, you've got the boom. He's here, the belt is here, and then they do a tournament.
Quick revision for the PWI stat, and this is just as funny to me. 2016, Roman Reigns did win Most Hated Wrestler. He was also first runner-up for Wrestler of the Year to AJ Styles.
Now, I want you to think about that.
That's crazy to me.
I want you to think about that.
You're supposed to be the top, and I like Roman Reigns.
Yeah, but
you're supposed to be the top face for the company, and you just won Most Hated Wrestler of the Year.
And runner-up for what?
PWI awards are voted by the fans, right?
And apparently Vince doesn't get that memo.
What was he runner up of?
It's a worked magazine.
Apparently,
anyway.
Vince is still reading Cyndi Lauper's newsletters and shit.
What was he runner up of?
Click the Spreaker chat, please. He was first runner up for Wrestler of the Year.
Wrestler. So I want you to
We're
think
going to
about
click on the Spreaker tab here on Stan's laptop, and it's going to be like, oh, we've been off the air for 30 minutes.
Whoops.
I want you to think about that. Other than
Not responding.
Uh-oh.
Other than the couple with AJ,
Right.
he didn't have any great matches
His matches
to
with
make
AJ
Wrestler of the
good.
Year.
I mean, he definitely didn't have a match of the year candidate. I'll give you that. Let's. I think we all know that this is
Some of our best shit, and it ain't going to be on TV. What the hell?
Let's go ahead and.
Let's go ahead and give you the laptop so you can figure this shit out.
Well, I'll do that too.
Probably too late now, and I got to go to bed anyway.
Well, fine. All right. Well, let's close this out.
11.
Let's get the main event.
It's 11:15, and Brian has to go to sleep now.
So the main
So
event.
do I. I could get up in the morning too.
Bill Goldberg and Brock Lesnar. We've already talked about how this is putting somebody in
Is
the
it
hole.
record?
I can't pull it up. But for the moment, we'll play it by ear. We already talked about how you're booking yourself into a corner regardless of who wins this matchup. So let's just go ahead and go down the list. Rob, who you got? Brock or Goldberg?
Brock.
Brock.
This is the payback for the Rumble, and this is payback for Survivor Series.
Yep. And however, I do think AJ Styles and Shane McMahon will be the sleeper of the night. Aries winning from Neville will be the match of the night.
I think that's probably going to be match of the night, too. I think AJ beats Shane. And I think that's that. So, folks, thanks for hanging out with us as we ran a little bit late tonight.
Hopefully it
See you
recorded.
next week.
If not,
We'll have to do a
Fuck
call
yeah.
in. We'll do a call in during the week.
WrestleMania, Sunday night. We will join you live at, probably 8 p.m., depending. Because I know we're going to be together earlier that day. But we will put it
we're
on
getting
Twitter
together
and
for
Facebook.
NXT.
I got to work, but I can come by after.
Yeah, I'll probably should.
Y'all have a great night. Thanks very much for listening.
Peace. Because I may get Ring of Honor too.
Oh, you already have music playing, or is it?
I don't know.
If it didn't work, I guess we can.
There's some good stuff too. That's probably still recording. Be careful what you say.